We lost. True indeed. We lost. Lord knows we lost. I'm about to say something to make you not like me. You might catch feelings and you might want to fight me, but I don't really care, I'ma say it anyway. Why most committed guys seem soft and gay. I'm not saying all, but a large amount. Have you ever heard the words that come out of their mouth? Yeah, they cuss like a sailor, but they follow my eye. They carry oaks and wear makeup and thinking it's hot. I think they need to stop. This is a new era. I wonder if the pharaohs of a war mascara. It probably was a death mask misunderstood. Don't let them D-boys catch them up in the hood. Why NOI? Stop patrolling the block. We get shot by the cops and we calling the cops. Come on, y'all was on another level. The black man was God, the white man the devil. Now the white man, or better yet the European, and the Mars and the bean pies are sold by Koreans. I'm talking what I'm seeing, I'm just a reporter. How you call a woman to be and you got a daughter. Talk to other Hebrews, the demonized women, and choose Esau over brothers and Kemet. Probably timid, soft, and scared to fight. Yelling and wearing spikes, trying to fake me out right. But you can't fool me, cause you make a little noise. Cause deep inside, y'all some scared little boys. If you really wanna ride, let's take it to the beast. Get revenge for people killed by the police. Yeah, right. Y'all ain't busting the grape. It appears that you fear you in love with hate. Correct me if I'm wrong, we might all don't get along. European psychology got us all gone. You think we divided? Cause I wear fez and she wear oak and he wear dreads. But the vision don't start there, it starts in the head. I'm here to wake you up and get you out of the bed. We lost. To get you out the bed. I'm here to spread love and get you out of the bed. The vision don't start there, it starts in the head. The vision don't start there, it starts in the head.
What should I write? What can I say? How can I tell you how much I'm... What should I write?
Let me talk to him.
What can I say?
Can I talk to him?
How can I tell you how much?
Talk to him.
Much.
Y'all been tripping lately, I know you starting to hate me, cause I'm exposing y'all for simply dozing off, sleeping at the wheel, acting like you real. You got my profit on the back burner with the oatmeal. I bring them to the front, and then you wanna front, talking all tough, but this ain't what you really want. I'm for peace, but my scimitar's sharp now. I represent the ones that put that old cart down. The car jacking off, got you sounding mad soft. It's just an idle shrine, ne'll fight you out your mind. To go against me, the Sultan of the West, stand down or I will put your weak knowledge to the test. You better ask somebody, back in my last life, I will run up on you 45 mask tight. I'm the revealer now, I take the mask off. I tell the truth, and let the truth flash y'all.
What should I say?
Let me talk to him.
What can I say?
Can I talk to him?
How can I tell you how much I'm...
Let me talk to him. Oh,
What should I say?
can I talk to him?
What can I say?
Talk to him.
How can I tell you how much I'm...
I know some real elders, you know some old folks. I know some serious boys who ain't no joke. They don't be YouTubing, they don't be Facebooking, they don't be clout chasing. But yeah, they looking, they see you demonstrating, sounding like it's 85 lies. You was told from them old boys you keep alive. I keep it fresh though, tell you how the flag go. The head don't know, then the whole body mad slow. Yeah, that's a cheap shot, and it might cost you. If you ain't in your lessons, then I probably lost you. You ain't no grand nothing, you define what? It still amazes me, all them people lined up and fell in line. Blind leaving the blind, got us far behind. Confusing 29, but I'm wide awoke. Oh yeah, I solved the puzzle. Man, they didn't love the prophet, so how could they love you?
What should I say?
Can I talk to him?
What can I say?
Let me talk to him.
How can I tell you how much I'm...
I'ma talk to him.
What should I say?
Let me talk to him.
What can I say?
Can I talk to him?
How can I tell you how much I'm...
See, they tripping, right? See, they really tripping because I'm telling the things that they've been hearing whispers about. They get mad because I'm saying everything that they want to say, but scared to say. They scared to ask their grand sheik. They scared to ask their divine ministers. They scared to ask the head of their temples. Matter of fact, they scared to ask their supreme grand leader about everything that I talk about. we got a special guest tonight. It's going to be fire tonight. All right. So now let me give my caveat. The caveat is all those that say, why are you doing this? Because it need to be done. All those that say, you're banging on each other. No, we not. This is YouTube. And we're going to play the YouTube game. Because this YouTube game has misguided a whole section of people within our community that could have been useful. So we're going to play this YouTube game, and we're going to expose those who have played the YouTube game for their selfish gain and benefit, so you don't get caught up into it. Yeah. We're going to play this YouTube game. We're going to go video. I'm not going to stop. That's right. So whatever you do, I'm telling you, we're not going to stop. I don't care what you do. You can make the videos about my family. We can do all that. I don't even care. I want y'all to call me, when I do these things about these frauds, y'all just call me Kamikaze Bay. We're going all out. We're going all out. Huh? We're going to start the show in a minute. We got a veteran on here tonight. What I mean by a veteran, he was doing what I'm doing before I was doing it. Trying to put people on point about these frauds. But guess what? The fraud had a way to go behind the scenes, undermine, and then act like he was cool in the forefront. We're going to talk about that tonight. Y'all ready? Let's turn it up. Family, everybody should share this to 2 social media platforms. I know you on Facebook and on Twitter, IG. I know you are. So let's turn it up real quick. Y'all ready? You know I gotta get warmed up. I got the big deal in the house. I got the big deal in the house.
We're about to take it back.
Y'all see that? We got the big deal in the house. Huh? Y'all think it's a game? Y'all don't think it's a game, do y'all? Huh? Let's take them back. Let's take them back.
Amen. Let's go.
Saneter, you know better than to test the more. You done chose Reggie Fate, now you can rest assured. We gon' teach them to love instead of hate. More we uplift and educate. You wanna debate, y'all pathetic. Everybody wanna be comedic. Steady shaka utmost, anyone can get it. It's real down here and be more, let's make it clear. I'm learning to love instead of hate, but I ain't there. Reginald, it's about time we check. You should've stuck with Matthew Natcher, you got disrespectful. I'ma keep it raw, you haven't met no more. If you did, your approach wouldn't be so piss poor. Red pill gave you the pass, now do the math. How many other boys 2 seconds up off ass? Saneter know exactly what he doing. He be hyping, he Don King. You 1990 Mike Tyson, about to get knocked the F out for sure. You got the Moors on the run, it's one thing you left. Come on, we right behind you when we running you down. I respect you as an elder, but I'm sonning you now. Yeah, I love my brother Side, but I got more love for God. A house of consciousness, a house of cards, a house of frauds. Moors, we go hard. You should've got the general to lead the charge, so we can smack them around like Polight did. Make a move to Beverly Hills where Polight live. That's right.
You're rocking with the...
Mess with this swordsman. Try it. Okay? I will cut you to ribbons. Mess with this swordsman. This killer. Falsehood killer. Kazimin. Zalamin. Mujrikin.
Don't make me take this fans off, a Lord knows, cause I will take some hands off. You all foes, lower self, my mafia keep a banger that'll sink the Noah's Ark. Stop playing with me.
I'm the true and living God, but I know the low a little better than you little frauds. Trying to keep it on a high note. I really love my bro, but I can go lower than a worm. No ramo. See y'all let the evil social media gas you, thumb thuggin'. Thinking when I see you I'ma pass you. Oh nah, we gon' talk about it, acting like you bout it. Guarantee you when I see you we gon' put some chalk around it. Talking like a big boy, this fans won't save you. Cause I will take this fans off and ask you who made you. You better say Allah when you look me in my eyes. You see the image of Allah. Don't be looking surprised, I'm the God in the flesh. Of course I'm fresh, I resurrect and protect. I don't believe he left, I breathe Jesus' breath. You breathe weed and death, we come correct like a check when the G's connect. Disrespect, trying to get a rep, I'm coming for your wreck for real. Don't make me take this flares off. Don't make me take this flares off. Islam, don't make me take this flares off. Don't make me take this fast off. Let's not rehash the past. You better ask quick fast before I go into my bag. Be real with mine. I'm religious, not blind. Too many people are dying to be playing with your clowns. I ain't playing with you then. I ain't playing with you now. I picked up a circle 7. Now you think I'm a reverend. I'm a sheep with a scimitar from 7-Eleven. Let's keep it 100. Yeah, you really don't want it. You better stick with the lessons and see what you can get from it. Cause all you getting from me is a one-way ticket going straight to. Yeah, you know we can kick it, but if I be that more, you gon' remember. Be more. I be that more, you gon' remember. Nap town. I be that more, you gon' remember. Tahaka Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that more, you gon' remember. I be that more, you gon' remember. I be that more, you gon' remember. Tahaka Bay front line till the law call my number. Welcome to another edition of Moorish World TV. In the building tonight, we got our brother, Solarmind. Family, we want to get this started most expeditiously. Are y'all familiar with Brother Solarmind? Y'all familiar with Brother Solarmind? Press 1 if y'all familiar with Brother Solarmind. Y'all familiar? Press 1. If you not, somebody need to put the already. Mimi, Mammy, Rika. Y'all familiar? Y'all don't know. Y'all don't remember. Y'all don't remember. In the black order, whatever it was. I forget. Y'all don't remember. Oh, don't think you forgot. Don't make me get Roy Jones over here. What you think we forgot? Y'all don't know. Well, y'all gonna know tonight. Y'all gonna know tonight. I'm gonna let him tell a little bit about himself first, because I'm telling you, listen, I came in the game defending Moors against attacks from Saneter. That's how I started this. You know what I mean? This is how I started. I didn't start this any other way. The only reason I started doing this is because Saneter was attacking Moors. He would attack and then back up, attack and then back up, attack and back up. But this time, I'm gonna keep the pressure on. But while I was doing that, Solarmind and Oh God, and I think it was another brother with him, I forget the brother's name, but they were doing videos similar to this, and they was doing blogs similar to this. You know what I mean? Blog Talk Radio, similar to this. You know, they was covering other stuff, but this was one of the things that Saneter was able to organize his team and his frauds to make brothers like Solarmind and Oh God in their network seem like they were the agitators, like they were the frauds, until it got to the point where the striking channels, I'm talking about getting real dirty, striking channels, not allowing people to be in it. But I'm going to let Solarmind, introduce yourself, brother. Tell them a little bit about your backstory on social media, just in case they forgot, brother.
Yeah. What's going on, people? Shout out to Harker Bay and Moorish World TV. Like you said, I go by the name of Solarmind, and I guess we could go back to maybe like around 2015, where I began to start a social media page. We started a blog talk radio show called In the Black Radio, and it was me, Oh God, and Sister Renee. And yeah, the blog talk was, dealing with general issues in the conscious community. I'm sort of a disciple of the quote unquote conscious community, in the sense that a lot of information that I got came from DVDs, obviously from Saneter, and looking at John Henry Clark, Amos Wilson, Joseph Ben Yakin, and all those guys. Black and Nobel at the time was the major bookstore in Philadelphia. I used to go there, and obtain a lot of information. So I have a very solid foundation, I guess you could say. As Arquazi was another person that I got acquainted with within my process of development as an individual for his consciousness. And so all that would be brought to the radio show. Initially it was just designed to have talk about issues concerning the Black community. So that would be like the foundation of the show. I met Ogar from Blog Talk Radio. I think it's TRL, Talk Real Solutions, with Brother Tony, Tyrone. And we used to go in there and troll. And then eventually we got together and decided to actually start a radio show. So that'd be the foundation of In the Black radio. And In the Black media would, obviously go from the Blog Talk Radio to actually YouTube.
What actually happened to that? Because it seemed like 1 minute y'all was just on the top of the game, and then we didn't see it no more. Without maybe going too far into it, if you don't want to, that's for another show, I would imagine. But what happened?
The pages actually got shut down.
I do remember that. Come to think of it,
yeah, the pages got shut down, and we kind of decided to part ways. I mean, everybody who knows. He actually does hip hop now. He kind of made that transition and moved forward, leaving the conscious community, and so we kind of parted ways on that. I kind of kept on, with the conscious community. So that's kind of what happened with that.
So now, in your dealings with the quote unquote conscious community, when did you first get yourself involved in any type of way with the topic of tonight, the House of Consciousness, Saneter? How did that introduction happen? Because mine happened, I went to New York to just step to him and deal with this Moorish nonsense. How did you get introduced or begin to get into the conversation with Saneter?
Yeah, well, my interaction was a little different. It was more from because he would put his number on the back of the DVD or like on the actual DVD, and I decided to call the number, and he answered the phone. And so that's kind of how it began. It kind of began like that. I think that it was like, general, because I didn't really have a long conversation with him. Just was like, okay, I was just seeing like, the number, and I was asking if there's any new information that he have. And, because Philly will actually go up to New York. Hakeem will go to New York, get information, and then bring it down to Philly. And he would tell me, some of the new stuff that was coming out. I'll parlay it to, Hakeem, and he'll be aware of what to actually get when he goes to New York. So it kind of developed into that. And I think the first real interaction would probably be, once again, it was a As Arquazi DVD. And I think it was talking about the Masonic origins of Egypt, or something like that, and I was watching the DVD at the time. My brother, he was thinking about becoming a Mason, and I showed him that DVD. And similar to the Saneter DVDs, As Arquazi would have his number on the on the video. So he called the number, and As Arquazi answered the phone. And the first thing that he asked was, where did you get the DVD from? And
bro, stop, hold up. I like to cut people off. My apology, bro. This is monumental, because this where a lot of the controversy first started about scamming in the name of using people intellectual property to make money without their permission, talking about Saneter, the man. Yeah, right. It was Arquazi that was asking everybody. So he actually asked you also?
Yeah. He asked me. He was like, I know before he even got to, I was like, oh, this answer, because you know he had a very distinct voice. So I was like, is it this Azar Quasi? Because I thought it was gonna be some type of secretary answering the phone, but it was Azar Quasi. And the first thing that he asked was, where did you get the DVD from? So I just said, like, you know, I got it from Black and Nobel, but I was like, I got it from some stand. It was like the stand out there I got it from. And then he was like, yeah, because people bootleg my DVDs. So I said, you know what? I'll just buy your DVD. I'll just buy it now, you know. So it turned into a relationship because I actually called him to buy the DVDs, and we had a lot of interactions back and forth. So we developed a pretty solid relationship. We, you know, with those elders, they could talk for hours because they got a lot of information.
Yeah.
So like, you know, fast forward up until I think Ray Hagan's, I think it was Ray Hagan's and Wesley Muhammad's debate. And so me and Azar Quasi was actually talking about that. And he was saying, like, well, if I was debating, because everybody know the Ray Hagan shuffle, whatever happened, you know, Ray Hagan's didn't present no information. Yeah. So Azar Quasi was like, well, I would have first did this, and this, and this, and then this. So I was like, okay, cool. And so I got in contact with Saneter, and he I brought that up to him. I was like, yeah, well, yeah, Azar Quasi said that he would have did a whole totally different thing. So Saneter tells me, he says, I'm gonna call Wesley Muhammad and act like you're one of Azar Quasi representatives. And I'm like, well, I'm not his representative. I just kind of talk to him when I'm buying a DVD. I'm really not a representative. So no, I'm not gonna do that. So he like, you know, he was trying to convince me to do it. I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. So I hangs up with him, and then like maybe like a half an hour later, I get a phone call that I don't recognize, and I answer the phone, and it's Wesley Muhammad. So the first thing he says, like, are you one of Azar Quasi representatives? So he went and told him anyway that I was one of Azar Quasi representatives. I'm like, no, I'm not one of his representatives. I talk to him a lot, but I'm not one of his representatives. He's like, oh yeah, because he was saying something about, you know, trying to debate me. And really pretty much, you know, at the end of the day, Wesley Muhammad did not really want to debate Azar Quasi, you know, so, you know, that kind of went through, but, you know, it was like, kind of made me look at him a little sideways because it was like, I just told you not to tell him that I was his representative. And Azar Quasi didn't really want to mess with Saneter anyway because of, like what you said, the bootlegging of the DVDs. He actually talked about that a whole lot. And that was one of the things that he felt some type of way about because that's how he made his living. He made his living from the DVDs and the trips over to Egypt. So, and, you know, obviously lectures and things of that nature. So, what they had going on in New York at the time, I think, you know, everybody knows 125th and Harlem is a lot of, you know, everybody's hustling. Everybody got stands out there. Everybody got things to sell out there. So I think that Saneter came up with an idea of selling conscious DVDs, you know, and so that would start out with like John Henry Clark and, you know, you got your, like, you know, your local networks where they allow people to come in and have little interviews. I think it was a show, Tell It Like It Is, where they actually bring people on and, you know, they give information. So he would take those and then make it into DVDs and sell them. So once that kind of all that information got out, he began to, you know, get people, you know, from, you know, I guess the streets that had some information, you know, whether it was like, you know, Moors or a different perspective that is not mainstream. So that is like the foundation of, you know, what they call the House of Consciousness.
When did you begin to interact with the House of Consciousness? Let's go straight to it. When you begin to interact with the House of Consciousness, because I think it's all a scam and a sham, and I think it's all smoke and mirrors consciousness. You know, like, for example, I remember one time Saneter was live and he was trying to justify Christmas. Now, and I'm not telling anybody on here don't celebrate Christmas, because obviously you can celebrate whatever you want. But when you call the white man the devil and got white people, quote unquote, white people kissing your shoes, the Jews, all these crazy antics, and in the same notion, you're celebrating Christmas And I think it was brother, what's the brother name? Bashir said he was at his house one day and he had presents wrapped around with the European Santa Claus on the gifts. You know what I'm saying? He talking about
I was actually, that was the first time I actually was in Saneter's house. I was with Bashir.
What?
And,
Oh,
yeah. We went into the house and he had like a little Christmas.
Hold up.
He had a little Christmas tree up in that motherfucker. So he was like,
nah, man.
Yeah, bro, that nigga had a little Christmas tree. So I'm looking like, because you know, some people, and I myself is I guess a victim of that. Like you're thinking like Saneter, you're looking at his DVDs, he's making the point, man, bow down, and you know what I'm saying, he's doing all these things. He was almost like a superhero in a sense of consciousness, because how they presented it, you know what I mean? So you go in and then you see it was like a little Christmas tree and got the gifts around. I'm looking like, what the fuck? I'm like, me and Bashir looked at each other, you kind of cut our eye at each other like, what the fuck is this? So Bashir was bold enough to say, like, damn, you got a Christmas tree? You know what I mean? He's like, nah, that's for the kids, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Hey, bro, this is groundbreaking. And then the whole thing is this, and I don't want anybody to take offense if you have a Christmas tree. If that's what the culture that you're into. What we're saying is that it's a total contradiction. It's like if I'm sitting up here every week telling you I'm a Moorish American, I'm a Moor, Islamism, and all of this stuff. I'm not trying to browbeat you to become what I am, but if you came in my house and you see a tree, I'm not telling you, you gotta look at me sideways. You know what I'm saying? So when you begin to work with House of Consciousness or interact with them, whatever, have you got the chance to experience the Brother Polight scam? Have you witnessed any scams from Brother Polight? Because I can tell you, he came to Baltimore, and we already talked about it on here, how he scammed somebody here in Baltimore, that's a whole nother show. But one of the things, reason why I want to get to that first is because Saneter seems like it was a Batman and Robin scheme when he connected with Brother Polight. A Batman and Robin scheme to do what Polight is doing today, but it was a step-by-step process. I remember the first time that he walked to the Hebrew camp and agitated the first Hebrew. I remember that like it was yesterday. You know what I'm saying? They left from 125th and had the camera walking, ready to agitate some Hebrews. What was your experience with the first Polight scam that you realized, like, hold up, everybody just not talking? Mine was in Baltimore. I had heard so much about it, but it was somebody in Baltimore that got scammed for $3,000. And it was real petty. It was super petty. And I'm like, and then when Polight was in Baltimore at this time, like he didn't scam some Hollywood people now, so he probably doing pretty good. But at this time, it seemed like his little Versace outfit, it was just a uniform because his socks was dirty. I was peeping everything. You know what I'm saying? His jacket was a little bit dingy. But on camera, I got the pictures. I'm just not saying this. So I'm like, hold up. And then my man Wolf actually picked him up from the airport. You know what I'm saying? This was the second time. The first time he had a little raggedy rental car, and I'm like, he taking pictures. At this time, he had already went Hollywood. He taking pictures in front of Bentley, and he was like in like a Ford Fiesta or something, some little weird little short mini car. But anyway, rental car. But anyway, the point that I'm making is, it was a Ford something, maybe not Fiesta, but it was a Ford something. Yeah, but it wasn't the Polight we see now. You know what I'm saying? But he was still playing a part with the fake, like he really made it. You know what I mean?
Right.
What was your experience with the Polight, the scamming Polight? That I wasn't convinced until he did it in Baltimore.
Right. And that's the thing. He said he's a very articulate person. So it's just like, when he begins to talk, it makes sense, you know what I mean, to a lot of people. And if you're not really have any hard evidence and you just hearing both sides.
Was there. It was a Ford Taurus. I think it was who was there? I'm telling you, it's a brother.
That was my first car. I had a Ford Taurus. That was my first car.
It's a brother that watched Moorish World TV. It's a brother that watched Moorish World TV, right? And he was with Polight. And Polight had picked him up on the way there and said, come on, you can be my security on stage. Gave him a shirt, what what's that shirt? What's the group he had? New Covenant shirt.
New Covenant, yeah.
And threw him up on stage, and it made him look like, because dude was a little swole too, right? Looked like he had showed up security. Man, he had just met homeboy, man.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
That shit. Oh, so what I want to do, right? I want to just show a little bit of receipts. So
yeah. Hold on. Solarmind bringing the receipts. Family, I want y'all to share this to at least 2 social media platform. And let me tell you, fam, the reason why I noticed the dirty socks is because he had on his pants was jacked up a little bit. And I was like, yo, this dude look a real. He looked like, and so you got people in Baltimore. I got some young guys in Baltimore that hustle for 3 days in. They don't go in the house. I know some young guys like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'd be like, man, yo, come on, man, get yourself together. This is our Polight look, but it was with the Versace and stuff like that. But it was just dusty. It is what it is. But go ahead, brother. I'm gonna remove myself. Let you get busy.
Yeah. So I'm a show. I just wanted to show this. So this is back in 2015. Can they see it?
Yes, I can see it well.
Yeah. So this was back in 2015. It says New Covenant exposed interview with brother Polight's business client. And what you could read, New Covenant, it was a $17,500 situation. So this is the first time that I actually, got privy to, his shady business practices. This is actually the episode on In the Black Radio. This is back once again in 2015. Now in 2015, wasn't nobody really, you see a lot of exposed Polight videos that didn't exist then. So this is probably like the first thing that actually went public, talking about something like this. So obviously Polight already has an established image. So it's just like some no-name guys, just coming out with this stuff. Now I will say that how actually I came into the information was through an individual that y'all probably know, Divine Prospect. He's not going to admit to this, but if y'all could remember, I think it was back in like 2004, because that was around September. So this had to go back probably to 2014, into 2014. They had like this interview with Divine Prospect, but it was a setup interview. So they had Uncle Cat, the usuals. I think it was Minister Inky and Polight and a couple other guys. It was like attacking him. Obviously, he has views that is kind of contrary to, what you say, Orthodox Israelite doctrine. He tried to kind of mix, African, Pan-Africanism with, Israelite. And, that's a new thing that or an unusual thing for an Israelite to have, this kind of perspective. So they was kind of trolling him on that, and it got ugly. So he actually sends, this individual to us, myself and old God. He sends this individual, and then he shuts down the Facebook page after he sends us this guy's number. So he sends us this number, and it shuts down the Facebook page. So his hands is clean of the situation. And to this day, so I didn't know who dude was. But, I entertained it because the guy is from Philadelphia. I live in Philadelphia. So, old guy was actually communicating with him initially. And he would be telling me, yeah, I think that this is something real. Because I was like, nah, that's just some old shit, And then I was like, okay, let me talk to him. Like the third time, let me talk to him. So I'm talking to the brother, and he was pretty solid. You know what I'm saying? And I'm then like, okay. So I said, yeah, you're going to have to send us some personal information. Like, yeah, what you want us to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? I really, it sounds like you're telling the truth, but I don't know. So that's what he did. He sent us emails, sent us Polight's actual name. He sent us, the actual transaction that took place, So I said, all right, let me call Saneter, And so at this point, I'm like, okay, it don't sound like he lying, but I still don't really believe that Polight would do some shit like that. So it's like, maybe it's some type of misunderstanding. So I call Saneter, like, yo, it's this guy, is there any way you could get in contact with Polight? So he brings Polight on a 3-way. And I'm like, Yeah, well, it's this guy saying that you owe him $17,000. And so he did confirm that he knew the person. And so it was like, all right, he'll get, okay, yeah, I'll deal with it. Thanks, look out, blah, blah, blah. So I get back to the homeboy, like, yo, yeah, he said that he'll get back with you. He has your information, blah, blah, blah. So weeks pass and we still talking. He like, nah, he never contacted me. He never contacted me. Like a month go past. He never contacted. Now let me tell you about this individual. He didn't sound like he was playing. You know what I'm saying? Now I grew up in, and I'm to this day in North Philly. You know what I'm saying? So I know when people blow smoke. I know when people's really about to do some shit. You know what I mean? Excuse my language. You know what I'm saying? So I know when people really about to do something. It sounded like this dude was really about to do something. You know what I mean? Because at the time he was in Afghanistan. He was in Afghanistan in the military. So he's like, when he come back and he don't have his money, there'll be some problems. So what I did was I said, I'm gonna contact them again. So I tried to call Saneter because I didn't really have Polight's information. So only way I talked to Polight was through Saneter. So I would call Saneter, and Saneter, I'm like, yeah, is there any way you can get in contact with Polight, because dude is still talking about, Polight owe him some money. And so he called him and then he clicked back over like, yeah, I can't get it, he's busy right now type of stuff. So he never gets back with me. I never really get to talk to Polight again. So now I was like, okay, it's a problem. There's a problem now. Something's going on. That was the red pill right there. Oh, now you've avoided me now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay. So I said to the homeboy, like, look, don't even do nothing. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't do nothing crazy. You know what I mean? What we'll do is if you don't respond in the next couple of weeks, we'll just bring you on for an interview and you could bring this stuff out. So really, what they think is exposing and all that was me really trying to calm this dude down. That's what that really was. No, we have different ways to try to, let it be known that it's on the record, you know what I'm saying? And, so we brought him on and he did what he did. Like he said, the show is on Block Talk Radio. Now when I clicked on it, the show, for whatever reason, is not playing, but but that was actual show. The New Covenant Exposed interview with Brother Polight's business client. So the guy, he was, it was about 17K, and he actually brought this stuff out. And so that's when the whole thing started. The Whitney Williams boys and, these guys is hating on me and this and that. It all started from that. Like him owing this man money and Polight avoiding him. And, so, we had the show, and the interesting thing about people, as we doing the show, this guy, lays it all out, talk about the transactions, how he got into the contact with Polight and the whole nine. And we opened the stream for callers, and they calling like, oh, why are you talking about Polight like that? It was still this kind of like religious type of response, So it was like, well, damn, what you don't, you're not going to engage what you just heard for the last hour and a half. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, this is like in 2015. Once again, this did not exist. This Polight scamming thing, it didn't. Now, he scammed people before this.
That's right.
But he scammed people way before that. But this particular situation is probably the first one that actually went on air, the way it did. So the response was kind of crazy. So Polight calls in and Saneter calls in. So that's the last. I mean, that's the only time Polight really responded to the situation directly to us, after the fact. And the rest was Saneter. Saneter felt as though, like you said, they had some type of dual thing going on, whereas though he felt as though that would tarnish Polight's image, which would in turn mess up with their bigger picture, whatever that bigger picture was. So he felt as though that, he was the one that was actually defending that shit. So it will be Saneter that actually would jump in front of, Polight, and then it turned into a thing in the Black Radio and the House of Consciousness, and particularly Saneter. So Saneter would start doing like little sneaky shit behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? As a result of, this whole situation.
So because you stepped in and tried to adjust the situation so the brother from Philly could get his finances back, that started the whole House of Consciousness campaign to try to destroy In the Black.
Yeah. He would do a lot of stuff, because he's a person that knows a lot of people and well respected. And as what I said before earlier, he had a relationship with Hakeem at Black and Nobel, and they would communicate and exchange information, and it was a business, so it was money made, and and when you're dealing with business, you're talking about somebody's bottom line, so that's a level of power, you know what I'm saying? So one thing I will say that the pressure that we applied in the Black radio, that'd be myself, Oh God, and Sister Renee, Polight eventually gave that money back. He did give that $17,000 back.
And and the crazy thing about that, Solarmind, the same thing happened here in Baltimore. Although it wasn't that wasn't that amount, but when the brother reached out to me and my brother Wolf reached out to me and like, man, and I'm like, Polight don't know what Polight is so crazy that he was scamming a guy from Baltimore, knowing the reputation of Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? Like, Baltimore got a reputation of no different than Philly and some other cities, Detroit. Now, they got a reputation of touching you. You know what I'm saying? And the moment that I made the call, he tried to blame it on that something wasn't right. It didn't didn't happen right, and he smoothed it over. And I said, well, the brother just need his money back. Period, point blank. Then he tried it again, bro. He told a brother here in Baltimore, and the brother reached out to me, asked me what I think, that he wanted to give him a $50,000 credit, business credit, something like that. I forget that scam, but it was something like a $50,000 business credit. But what he would have to do is he would have to set him up. You pay him $3,000. That magic number, $3,000, he'll set you up, and then you'll get $50,000 within 60 days. You know what I mean? And I told the brother, I said, listen, why don't you, if Polight want to help you, because the brother was doing community work, if Polight want to help you, let's just see if we can get Polight to pay the $3,000, and then when you get the 50, because he was still stunting, and when you get the 50, you give him $6,000 back. We got Polight on the phone. He started stuttering. And that's when it hit me. Because even I was still giving him the benefit of the doubt that he may not be scamming because he returned the money. I was still giving the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. Then when he started stuttering on that, I said, man, this guy. And then it started. Then after that, the floodgates opened and everybody started talking about him scamming. So what is the relationship? What happened with the relationship with you and Saneter and In the Black? Go ahead, brother.
Well, what would happen is, like I said, that he did actually give that money back in that situation, Polight. And that was like a lot of pressure that we put on to them. We was doing shows like probably like once or twice a week on this dude, and eventually he gave the money back. And so, dude, he brought a camera. He brought us a camera, and he paid for Phil Valentine and Professor Griff to come onto the show. And what Saneter did was he actually called Black and Nobel, because that would be his connection with Philly. He would call Black and Nobel, and he would try to he said something to Phil Valentine. I don't know, and Professor Griff. I don't know exactly what he said to him, but it got brought back to my attention, particularly with Phil Valentine, because Hakeem called me and told me like, yo, yeah, Phil Valentine, he did you have Phil Valentine about to come on your show? And I'm like, yeah, I do have Phil Valentine about to come on the show. He's like, yeah, well, Saneter called Phil Valentine telling him some shit, trying to convince him not to come on your show. But see, he didn't know that Homeboy paid for them to come on the show. So they was obligated to obviously fulfill that, obviously obligation because they was paid to come on there. So I could tell that initially when we interviewed Phil Valentine that it was like, something there. I was already privy to, the situation because it was brought to my attention through Hakeem that Saneter said something to him to try to prevent him to coming onto the show. And so he came on. I could tell he was a little wary, but then as the conversation went on, he got comfortable, and eventually that was a pretty good interview. However, with Professor Griff, we never had I didn't expect that he did that to Professor Griff at the time as well. I wasn't really aware that they had a relationship like that. So when Professor Griff came on, it was Sister Renee that was actually doing the interview, and he was just being like an asshole. And I know y'all love Professor Griff and all that. I still, and all that, but it is what it is. He was being an asshole, and it was like, so I text everybody like, is it me or is he being an asshole hard to interview? And she texts me back like, it ain't you. So I'm like, okay, because I got one of his books, Psychological War on Hip Hop. So I said, let me say something, because he was trying to act like she didn't know nothing about hip hop. She didn't know nothing about. He was trying to act like that, and she was asking questions that was, along the lines of what he talks about all the time, like Illuminati, hip hop, and all that type of stuff he was talking about. So I literally read something out of his book and said, like, what do you think about, and I read, literally read verbatim. He did the same thing to me. So I'm like, well, that's in your book. Like, why, like, what's the problem? Is there a problem? Like, so long story short, you crazy. Long story short, he gets mad and then just leaves in the middle of the interview. Now, I believe that interview is still on Blog Talk Radio as well. Like, he leaves in the middle of the interview. So we all looking at each other like, is he going? Like, I don't hear nothing. Like, is he going? Type shit. Like, so we looking like, damn. So we all like talking afterwards about like, what was that all about? Everybody's salty because this is Professor Griff. So it was like, yeah. So I said, yeah, put the interview, let that be the first video on our YouTube page. Post it up. Fuck it. And post it up. So that joint went like by like 50,000 views. And everybody in the comment section, like, yeah, why Professor Griff was acting like that? So Professor Griff would then call Black and Nobel. He would then call Black and Nobel. Now, mind you, this is all because Saneter called him and told him whatever he told him because he was mad at the situation that happened with Polight. Nobody did nothing to him. I was a fan of House of Consciousness. I brought his DVDs. I wasn't no hater. None of that. The only reason why he felt some type of way was because Polight was forced to give that money back to this man, and his credibility kind of got shot at that point, as far as with the scamming. So this is why he's doing all this. So Professor Griff calls Black and Nobel. Hakeem's calling me. And so it's kind of like vanilla, like what he's saying, like, yeah, is there something going on with you and Professor Griff? I'm like, nah, he came on the show and he dropped off, what I'm saying? And so I posted it up. He's like, oh, like, yeah, because he's like some video, you did a video on him or something, like he's talking like that. I didn't do a video on him. He's on the video. It was an interview. It says, so he hangs up, calls me back. Yeah, well, Professor Griff wants you to take down that video. You know what I'm saying? He wants you to take the video down. So I'm like, for what? What's the matter with the video? What's the matter with the video? Because if he admit what is the matter with the video, okay, so you knew what you was doing there. You know what I'm saying? So I said, well, what's the matter with the video? Why you want us to take the video down? Say that to him. So he called me. Now the third time, I'm like, look, bro. I'm not about to sit up here and talk to you about. If he got a problem with me, tell him to call me directly. Because y'all got a business thing going on, and you're not trying to mess that up, and it's getting goofy. So look, tell Professor Griff to call me. You know what I'm saying? So Professor Griff calls me, and so he had to do this crazy introduction of himself. So I'm like, hello. He's like, yeah. Is this the Solarmind? And I'm like, yeah. Before I even could talk, he's like, look, man, like, I just want you to take the video down. I go through a lot of stuff. I've been in it a long time. My cousin just shot up this car, and literally, he was saying this. You know what I mean? He's literally saying stuff like that. So I'm listening, like, they don't know, like I said, I grew up in North Philly, bro. Like, none of that stuff is like that murder, death, kill, homicide stuff. And then I'm not impressed by none of that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Unless you telling me that bullets deflect off you like Superman. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not impressed by none of that. His cousin, he had to stop his cousin from shooting up. So it's always subtle threats that he was trying to throw at us. So I'm sitting up there. I said, I shut the fuck up and listen to him for about 5 minutes. Sat there like this. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I say, look, can I talk right now? Like, oh yeah, go ahead. I said, well, if you want me to take the video down, the first thing you have to do is no. I don't have to do nothing. They take the video down. I'm telling you, you want to take the video down. So he didn't even allow me to finish my sentence. That's how arrogant he was. I would say, like, well, the first thing you have, I ain't got to do nothing. This is what he said. He'll cut me off again. I'm like, you're not going to let me finish my sentence? He said, no, because I'm not about to do nothing. What you about to do is take the video down. So I said, look, the video ain't coming down. What you going to do? Video ain't coming down. So he hangs up. Then Hakeem calls me back. Now Hakeem is now a little more aggressive. Yo, what the fuck is going on, bro? Like, what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? He got this relationship with Hakeem. So I'm telling Hakeem, like, look, dude, I'm not about to be like this whole thing with Professor Griff. And, for him to bring you in it, that's some fuck shit. For him to bring you in a situation that you ain't got nothing to do with. For him to be putting pressure on you. So you call him about all that. I ain't got nothing to do with you and Professor Griff's relationship. That's something that you want to talk to with him. Now, he got my number. He could call me. We could deal with this. I told him, I'm not in any ways, affiliated. I go to the bookstore to buy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Don't connect me with Black and Nobel. I let that be known. You know what I mean? So yeah, whatever he got over you, whatever the case may be, he's the fuck nigga for that. You know what I'm saying? So, long story short, you know what I'm saying? The video didn't come down and it turned into a whole thing. It was like a back and forth with Professor Griff. And then, and so all this chaos at the end of the day, came from Saneter telling him, planting the seed. And unlike Phil Valentine, obviously Phil Valentine is a little more wiser than Professor Griff. So Phil Valentine said, okay, I've been through this before. Let me see what's up with these guys before I even jump to a conclusion. So he was a little wary. He was a little wary at first, but he's analyzing, because somebody tell you something, and that's the power with planting seeds in people's head. So he was wise enough to look and say, okay, it's not true about what he's saying. And then the interview turned out to be a good interview. But Professor Griff, he took what Saneter said and just went with whatever narrative that he laid down, which was, these niggas fuck niggas and they hate and they did this Polight and this and that, or whatever the case may be. So, that's the foundation of the whole beef. That's our foundation.
Wow. Oh my goodness, bro. That's a whole lot for real. When you consider that's a whole lot for real. So today, let me take forward today. So now you're doing the debate league now. I wanted to make sure that you drop your link in there to the debate league, and I will also put it on the bottom. You're doing some type of debate league, right? On the channel now, right?
Yeah. It's called Solar Vision Debate League.
Yeah. And so we'll make sure we get the link up in there. So y'all can subscribe to that channel. So now let's go back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Hold up. I gotta address the elephant in the room. All right. Hey family, can I address the elephant in the room? I gotta address the elephant in the room, man.
What's the elephant, bro?
You know, talk about this research. Press 1 if I'm the greatest researcher on planet Earth with these crazies. Press 1. So the elephant in the room, man. Am I the greatest research searching these crazies? Press 1 if you think so. So the elephant in the room is Saneter. Here we go. Saneter running around talking about he got the baddest Hebrew in the game wearing his chain.
Bro.
Now, JJ 5,000, 7,000, Jeremiah Judah, my apology, brother, but I got to tell the truth. He called Nepal a pass around, but I must say that he went on Facebook and apologized. He said they passed around through the Hebrews. That's what he said. I did not say it. I did not say it. But he came back and apologized. He said he felt bad and he shouldn't have said it. And I think that was a good move for him. Then I showed where sis Judah Nazareth was in the chat right here. He attacked me with her. That sis and Judah Nazareth appeared to be, allegedly, had something popping. Then I seen that she was trying to swing it towards JJ way. Shorty swing my way, sure looks good to me. Swing my way. And then after swinging it to JJ way, I heard somewhere in between there that y'all might have had some conversation swinging your way. So the elephant in the room, was you and Nepal ever an item?
Yeah, we was talking for about maybe 6 months.
All right, I'm gonna leave it alone. That's it.
But I will say this. I will say this. You know, respect to the sister. You know, I don't.
No, that ain't your conversation. You can say whatever.
No, let me say this.
I say whatever you want, but I'm telling you, my mission here today is to show the hypocrisy and how deep it runs. I'm not trying to throw sis under the bus, for I don't know her. Never talked to her, have nothing against her. But the way that Saneter has been moving, I got to add that into the conversation, and I don't want to have any bearing on you, though. But there you go, brother.
So I will say this. You know, I actually was talking to her, you know, before the Judah Naz and the JJ situation.
Hold up. I didn't get my bomb. Where my bomb at?
Yo, this guy, bro.
Well, you know how I do. Go ahead, brother.
No, but I was talking to her before that situation, and from what my understanding was, she wasn't in a relationship with those two guys. It was more so business. That's what I'm hearing from, you know, what she told me. But me and her, we had an intimate relationship. Well, I didn't meet her in person. Let it be known, I didn't meet her in person, and it was just conversation, you know, over the internet for about maybe 6 months.
Okay, so you ain't let me stop. Grass sheep, stop. You a grass sheep. Stop this foolishness. So let's move on. I say Don DeMarco. I need to get one of them type of sound bites. I do. There's some good stuff here. So bro, how ultimately did you and Saneter completely fall out? Did y'all completely fall out?
Well, after that situation, it was like, okay, it kind of brought me down to earth from, I'm thinking that the conscious community was more like, similar to like church in a way, but it was just like with real information. And it kind of brought me back down to earth that these are people that, do nigga shit pretty much. You know what I mean? So I took the bad with the, the good, and understanding that, when you're dealing with humans, you always got to be mindful that, everybody has a bad side and, vices that they're dealing with, so we kind of was able to, even the playing field for as, communication and, so it was like kind of like, there at the point in time, like, kind of, was able to move forward, I guess you could say, from that situation, allegedly,
Right. What, so, bro, I've been doing shows and I got one coming up on Malik Zulu Shabazz, and it seemed like they have a tight network. This network seems to be Polight goes and fake the police, assault him and the sister that he's no longer with. And then Malik comes up and do the press conference. Saneter backs it up on the media front. And recently it appears to be that when Saneter, when one of these frauds get under the hot light, you know what I'm saying, to be examined to see who they really are, it seems like Saneter comes in with the cape on and try to clean them up a little bit and then re-present them to the public. With that being said, recently we've been talking about Malik Zulu Shabazz, how he has no track record before Howard University, how he was instrumental in bringing Dr. Khalid Muhammad to Howard University, and that's how he gets his supposedly credibility into the conscious community, but nobody knows who he is for real. And for 30 years, 25 years, whatever it is, give or take, he's been living off this fake freedom fighting with no accomplishment. No, for real, with no accomplishment. It is what it is. With no accomplishments whatsoever. Just running around saying Black Power, holding guns, having all these meetings, spending. Well, I don't know where he get all this money for all these meetings because he haven't beat our court case. We can't find one court case where he approached the bench. We don't know what's going on for real with this guy. But have you had any experience with Malik Zulu Shabazz? Because this circle, Malik, Saneter, and Polight is a pretty much tight circle. Malik never goes to the West Coast, but when Polight got caught up with that police thing, he was right there on the West Coast at the police precinct. And again, we recently was talking about Malik, and here comes Saneter trying to clean him up and dust him off and represent him to the public. Have you had any experience with Malik?
Yeah, actually. And I want to say this real quick before I get into that. Now you know that what exposed Khalid Muhammad was remember he had the lecture at Howard University where he was talking about that's the one that the actual Jews got, and then they had the little congressional hearing. So
tied together, brother.
Yeah, so it was that, I forget what he was saying, the goddamn white man, or he was talking about the Jews in some type of way. And they used that as material to now condemn Khalid Muhammad in some type of way, yeah, and that was the one that was the actual footage that was used when he went on the Donahue show. Remember, he went on the Donahue show and they showed that the footage, and Donahue was like, well, what about the two Jews that died? What about the two Jews that died? And then Khalid said, I don't give a damn about those two Jews. There's too many of us dying. He responded by saying that. Right. But that all goes back to that Howard University, which we know at the time Malik Zulu Shabazz was a student at Howard. So he most likely he was the one that actually set that whole thing up.
Absolutely. And Solarmind, to your point, this is what I be trying to tell people, that when you, such as you and myself and people like us, can go back a little bit and able to see what's going on, especially on the East Coast. Some people on the West Coast is really not privy to all of this. You know what I'm saying? But being on the East Coast, we get it first. You know what I'm saying? And the sneaky behavior, like at one time I thought Malik was legit until I started looking at like, hold up. And when he called me an agent, I'm like, me? Me? And I started looking, I'm like, wait a minute. And then we start looking back to something that you just said. And one of the main things that I was paying attention to is like, what made him as a student organizer reach out to one of the most controversial speakers in the country? And from him reaching out to him also propelled him into a whole new audience too. You know what I'm saying? It took him into the college circuit. Malik did that. And that college circuit is what began to, the European began to take his words, use them against them and twist them. But have you had any experience with Malik?
Yeah, I think it was like around like 2000, maybe 16, early 2016, I believe. We went down to DC, and I forget what it was. It actually was some type of lecture he was having, or he wrote a book or something. I forget exactly what it was, but we went down to DC, and so this was right after Trump election. Trump was elected, and you had a lot of people that was afraid because he issued that travel ban. And so you had a group of Arabs that was sitting in the front row of the lecture. So we're there, and we're he had this the lecture. He's Malik Zulu Shabazz, so he spoke. And so when it got time for question and answer, a whole bunch of black people. It had to be about maybe like 16 people in line waiting to talk to Malik Zulu Shabazz. So he said, before I get to answering y'all questions, and they didn't even like raise their hand or nothing. They were just sitting in the front row. So, these Arabs, they're afraid because of the travel ban. So that's why they're there. So he said, before I answer y'all questions, I want to see what y'all think about what he was talking about. So he's having this conversation while the black people waiting in line. He's having this conversation with these Arabs. And so I'm looking like, that's already looking suspect to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking like, damn. And then it was like, it was like a conversation they was in. They had to talk about maybe like 15, 20 minutes. So then it was like, all right, he treated us, it was almost like he gave them like, a steak dinner. And then it was like, okay, welfare line, come on in. You only got one question. That's what he was saying. You know what I'm saying? You only got one question. That's what he said. And I was like, damn. So you mean to tell me you sit there and had this conversation with these Arabs for about damn near 20 minutes, and then like we only can ask you one question? You know what I mean? So I'm like, damn. So I was like, yo, I wanted like, I want to say something. I was like, so Saneter was like, yeah. I was saying that to Saneter, exactly what I'm saying right now. Like, yo, what the fuck? Why is he? He's like, yo, say it on the mic. So he gives me the mic. So I said, like, yo, why are they here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not here when they setting up those bodegas. You know what I'm saying? I say some old shit like that. And so he started defending the Arab. He's like, yeah, well, you need to set up a bodega and blah, blah, blah. And just like the choir dead zombies like they are, because I'm defending them, because they start clapping for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you mean to tell me? So I'm thinking in my head, well, like, well, I thought that's why I was here. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. You're the leader. You know what I'm saying? I said, you're the leader, but you're talking to these damn Arabs. What's up with that? You know what I'm saying? So it was like a back and forth, and then it was like, I would say something that he would have to answer. And then it got to the point where, like, and this is my last time, even, addressing this and blah, blah, blah. So he said his last thing. He got the last word. He moved on, whatever. But I'm like, yo, how is the black leader? And we know that the only reason why they're there is because they're afraid of this travel ban. They don't give a damn about the black community. So why are we entertaining this shit? You know what I'm saying? But this goes back into what, Taharka Bey is saying about, these quote unquote black leaders is not for the best interest of black people.
Not at all.
Because we know that those Arabs came with a lot of money.
Absolutely. And I'm about to do this. I'm about to do this presentation, which it won't be a live presentation. It's going to be a post-production presentation. And I'm going to prove that these leaders have sold us out. I'm going to prove, and this is going to get a lot of people mad right now. I'm going to prove that those who claim to represent the Moorish Science Temple of America, those who claim to represent NOI, I'm gonna prove that they sold us out. And the reason why they sold us out, because you have many people over here from foreign countries that have sped past us by putting their coins together, putting their thing together and moving forward. And we have nothing to call our own after all of this time. I'm on the ground trying to put something together that we can call our own. But, I took a trip to the Amish community. And I was just watching how they didn't give a daggone what was going on around them. They was focusing on building their own thing, and they continue to build their own thing. They build their own homes, they drill their own wells, they do everything themselves. You know what I'm saying? And these leaders that claim to be about Black power, these leaders that claim to be about sovereignty, these leaders that all this rhetoric that we hear, that there's not one group that picked up one shovel, there's not one group that had built one community. There's, after all these years, there is not one group, not the Moors, not NOI. We ain't talking about somebody buying some farm and bringing the stuff into the city. No, we're talking about a community that is for us, by us, and supported by us. You feel what I'm saying? And so these leaders have sold us out. They have been tugging on our heartstrings. They have been tugging on our emotions. They have been saying things to tickle our ear, but they have brought nothing to us that our future generations can use. They lie to us, and they continue to try to pump us up with this fake religion when they do with Islam, the Moors, Islamism, the Moors, assalamu alaikum, praise the Lord. All of them have sold us down the river. Every single one of them. All of these years, and you mean tell me not one have dug a well? Not one have one house stand next to the next house, but independent. They love this European. I got to go on my rant real quick. They love this European, brother. They love this European providing for them. They don't want to dig their own well. They rather turn on their faucet and get some tap water from the city. They love to flush their doo-doo with the tap water from the city. They can't even flush their own doo-doo, calling themselves a leader. Man, this stuff is ridiculous. It really got to me this weekend when me and my mother and my sons went to the Amish village out there in PA. And you're from PA, so I'm pretty sure you have passed by them quite a few times. Unbelievable to me at the length that the Amish people would go to have their independence, and we have not. And when I say we, I'm talking about, now I'm just really, listen, many of us, we should have been woke. These leaders have misled us, misguided us. And so all of these leaders that's talking all crazy about Black power, they're lying. They're phony and they're lying. All of them talking about the Black man is God. They're lying, because God ain't created nothing under this ideal. The Black man is God. The Black woman is God. We haven't got together collectively and did nothing. And it's pathetic. It's terribly pathetic that we look at these people as if they're going to give us some type of redemption from the state that we are in. It's pathetic for real. With that being said, brother, have you ever talked to Malik? I'm sorry about that rant. I'm sorry about that. I got to get it in. Did you talk to Malik after that?
I seen him at the Saneter TV Awards, and it was just like a casual conversation. But no, I really never really had a conversation about that incident to him.
He probably forgot anyway. So do you think that what do you feel about Malik Zulu Shabazz? Do you feel that he's been instrumental in moving the meter in our community, or do you think he's a part of the same network just to tickle our ear, or you know what I'm saying, grab our emotions? Do you think he moved the meter?
Well, I'll say that's why these people are held to such high regard, like a Khalid Muhammad, because it takes a certain type of individual to be uncompromising, relentless, and he, just keep on banging at, the status quo. I just don't think that he was up for the job. You know what I'm saying? And this is not me, with the little information that I know about, him personally, he just wasn't built for the job. So I think maybe he made an attempt, and he's seen, what he was up against. And then from there, it's like, you reach your apex, and then you find a comfort zone. So I think he was making an attempt to push the Black Panthers, and then he kind of left that alone, and he passed that on to somebody else. And then he went into, just being a lawyer or whatever the case may be. And so, in that, you got different levels of sellouts. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's right. Like, people that, okay, they have a talent, and but they not really, like Johnny Cochran is somebody special, because he takes his talent and he helps Black people with the talent. You know what I'm saying? And but once the pressure comes on, if they can't deal with it, then they kind of find a plateau that they actually go on. And I just think that that's the case with him with the little information. You know what I mean? So you know that from that standpoint, I just think that what individual have to do is now make excuses as to why they're taking this position. And I think that one of the excuses is like kind of pointing the finger at the people, because that's kind of what he was doing with me. And well, why don't you build the store? Why don't you, you're the one? And he was trying to point it at me. So and I'm representative of the common man, like the regular person, So I think that that was his justification to take the stances that he took, and in that he sold out. You know what I'm saying? And now it could be something deeper than that. It could be something to be like he talked to some people, but I just don't know nothing about that to make a statement on that.
Right. So what about do you feel like he covered for Brother Polight?
In terms of like the scamming?
Of the scamming, yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure that you
remember in the and I actually asked him about this offline one time. I asked him, I said, bro, whatever happened to when we were talking? I said, whatever happened to the lawsuit with Brother Polight? Supposed to be $40 million lawsuit. What happened to the brother? Oh, bro, Polight didn't want to move forward with it. And I'm like, huh?
40 million lawsuit for what?
For when the police
the whole situation.
Yeah. Do you feel as though at any time he covered for Brother Polight?
In terms of the scamming?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't see how they could connect in the sense like, he probably was aware of it, privy to it. But, I guess, silence is, for a person of his caliber, I guess you could say that. But I don't have the information to say that he actually covered up for him. I don't know.
Indeed. So what about I remember me and you was talking. We was talking about the I think it was Saneter and the situation with you and James Small or something like that.
Right.
Where was that all about? We going in tonight, fam. We gonna show how these snakes move. Right.
So like I said, Professor James Smalls, Phil Valentine. Like I would, after that interview, I had a conversation with Phil Valentine. So now he's looking like Phil Valentine was smart enough, like I said, to like analyze the situation and see that okay, so maybe something going on that's involving them, but it really ain't got nothing to do with me in particular. So he began to inquire, and I brought it to his attention what the situation was about, the scamming and ironically, they was aware that there was a rumor that was floating around. So they actually said that. But for Professor James Smalls, he actually called me. We had a long conversation, and he was telling me, stories about Colin and all that type of stuff. And he pretty much was saying to me, and this was at the height of the back and forth that was going on with in the Black Radio and the House of Consciousness. And so he was saying to me, like, yeah, he heard about this stuff, but he didn't know whether it was true or not. This is what he's saying. And he's saying, like, I ain't telling you to stop, but I just don't want it to turn into something that somebody's getting hurt. This is pretty much what he was saying.
So James Paul is aware of the scamming? Yeah,
he said he heard rumors about it.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, he said he heard rumors about it, but he didn't know whether it was true or not. But he's like, I'm not telling you to stop doing what you're doing, but just don't let it escalate to the point where somebody's getting hurt. Pretty much what he was saying. So what you're seeing though is like a case of black people not really wanting to take on the responsibility of dealing with situations that can be uncomfortable, because it's almost seemed like everybody heard about it, but they didn't really want to deal with it. And I see why. People didn't want to deal with it.
Well, at that time, Saneter had a real large support system too. You know what I'm saying? Right now, he on his last leg. He on his way out now. I'm talking about from social media perspective. He's on his last leg. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. Think about all those great minds that was there. Like, we don't have to agree with them, but there was some great minds there from Sutek, from what's the brother that went to Natural Tahuti, and we was naming them here before.
Ali Muhammad.
And these were some
people,
some sharp-minded people. And you don't see none of them no more. And at that time, people held Saneter in high regard. In high regard. You feel what I'm saying? And he threw all that away for a piece of change. For a piece of change that he didn't even get, because according to him, Polight actually scammed him. According to him.
I remember I had a conversation with Saneter one time, and I was asking him, I was like do the FBI stalk you? Like, do they like? And he was like, not as much as they used to. That's what he said. Like, like he was saying, like, because we was talking about, the conversation was we was talking about, like, how the FBI kind of like, follow people and like dig. So I was like, somebody of your caliber, did the FBI ever come in contact with you? And he said, yeah, they did contact me, but they don't really do it as much as they used to. This is what he's saying. And everybody, if anybody knows, he says that he was head of the Harlem chapter of the Black Panther Party.
Yeah.
At a point in time. And so you had this connection with Khalid Muhammad. And so once again, you got Malik Zulu Shabazz over here, you got Saneter, and we know that Khalid is gone now. You know what I'm saying? Khalid is gone now, and these people are still alive.
Yeah, and speaking about the feds, he called the feds on his show one time. Remember that show?
Yeah, I think I see.
He literally called.
I didn't see the actual show, but I see some.
I got the file. I can't pull it down.
Yeah, no, I seen the troll joint where somebody was like, "Yeah, I was going to call the FBI right now," some more shit like that.
Hello, FBI. Yeah, my name, and I'm an upstanding guy in the community. My daughter down the street.
And so yeah, you had this whole thing, you know what I mean, with like the House of Consciousness. And let me tell you this was like was this before this? Yeah, this was before the scamming. I did a documentary. And this is still on YouTube. You can type it in on YouTube now. It's called The Psychological Effects of Slavery Through the Image of Christ. Let me try to type in on it's called The Psychological Effects of Slavery Through the Image of Christ. And what I did was I had the image of a black Jesus, the image of a white Jesus. And I went around Philly and I was asking people, like, who you think this is? And what you're seeing was, because you're supposed to recognize Christ through the halo in the background. So the halo is supposed to be the representation, not the actual image. So I had a black version of Jesus and I had a white version of Jesus. And people, obviously recognize the white Jesus. They say that is Jesus, and I don't know who that is. So I was gonna, give this to Saneter. Like, I did this documentary because it blew up in Philly. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people watched it. So I give the DVD to Saneter, and so I don't really hear nothing about how it's doing or whatever. And then all of a sudden, he pops up on House of Consciousness. Now he's doing his version of it. He has like the white Christ, and I think it was Marcus Garvey or something.
Marcus Garvey and Malcolm.
But that's where he got that from. I literally handed him that documentary that I did. I had it on DVD and I gave it to him. So he takes that and then does his version of it and then never puts out what I did. You know what I'm saying? So that's how like this whole thing.
What you did. Yours was bootleg.
Yeah, exactly. It was just like, so it was like, damn. And then, you got the interviews, and this is why, like, as our Quasi don't really mess with him like that. It's like this shady kind of business practices. You know what I'm saying? Like, you were supposed to, like, I'm thinking like, okay, this is the House of Consciousness. Okay, you put the documentary out there and it's all good. You know what I'm saying? I get my name out there and all that flash stuff. He takes my idea and does his version of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but at the time, since it blew up in Philly, I wasn't really salty about that. But it's like looking at it in hindsight, it's like yo, this dude, bro.
Let me say this real quick, family. I don't know if you are familiar, but I have a platform. Let me say we have a platform. It's called The Throne. And on The Throne, we dig way deep into things. Coming tomorrow, I had to reset it. It was supposed to be today, but coming tomorrow, we're going to have this brother Rodney Hicks on there. And he's going to be showing the true connection with receipts, the true receipts of the government operation of getting stabbed. He's coming with the true receipts. I mean, he's going to trace it all the way to the patents. He's going to show the legal patents. He's going to show, now he's going all the way in. I'm talking about everything. This brother is a herbologist. He has a store out there in Chicago. And he's about to go all the way in. I'm going to put a link in here, and it's a free access pass to The Throne, because I want everybody to be able to see this. I don't know what time exactly I will be doing it, but I will give you a free access pass to come into The Throne to check this out. So the link will be soon as he confirmed the time. Come back to the video, look into the comment section, if you will. Hold on. Look into the comment section, as well as look into the description section, and there will be an access pass, a 24-hour pass in there, because I think it's very important that you see this this illustration of how, I mean, he's tracing everything legally. This is not something where he's just coming up here to be a talking head. We don't do that on Morse World TV. He's going to show where this thing come from. He's going to show where it comes from. He's going to show the patents. He's going to show who's owned the patents. And you'll be able to look up this stuff for yourself. You'll be able to look up it for yourself. With that being said, bro, why do you think Saneter begin to attack religions, if you will? Like, it seems to be like he won't let up off the Hebrews, and he constantly attack religions. And I can understand having a dispute with somebody and disagreeing, but he is riding this cart all the way to Never Land, just attacking. What is that all about from your perspective?
Can I say this real quick before I get into that? I want to say something. Now, yesterday I get a call from Saneter, right?
Oh, bro! Ironically, I didn't even put up the flyer yet. Let me hear this.
No. The reason why I got a call from Saneter was because I went on to Lex Vortex show, Dark Side Network, I think is the name of his platform, and I went on there, and there was a conversation about, I think it was Saneter and his significant other, and so that led to Saneter calling me, and he was actually acting like, yo, what's up? Because me and Saneter, I don't know what it is with the relationship. Like, okay, we cool. You over there, I'm over here, type of thing. But then it turns into something always about, him mentioning my name when I never did nothing to him. You know what I'm saying? So the recent rant was, I think he was going in on you and Iman Bashir, and then he just mentions my name out of nowhere. And Solarmind, he's emulating me and some more stuff like that. So it was like, so I say that to him, like, yo, like, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like, I didn't say nothing to you. I didn't bring up your name. I didn't throw no innuendos. What's up? Like, what's good? So I was talking to Lex, when he called. So I brought Lex on a three-way, and then they began to talk. And so, it was a rumor, that was being floated around about Lex, that said that he had AIDS. This was a rumor that said he had AIDS, and it was started by Saneter. Saneter started this rumor that it was this lady. Man. Yeah, there was this lady that said that he was going around saying that he had HIV or something like that. So Saneter would be this, because Saneter actually told me this. person. He told me this. So so Lex is confronting him like, yo, why are you telling people that, some lady is going around saying that I gave her HIV? So he says in response that people saying that I got AIDS. That was his answer. That the reason why he was, started a rumor about, this man, giving AIDS to this woman is because people were saying that he got AIDS. So I'm looking at the phone like, what the hell? So I'm like, yo, that's not cool. I just wanted to put that out there because, people was actually doing streams on this man saying that he has AIDS. And this was all a rumor that was started by Saneter. And when Lex confronted him, he said that the reason why he said this was because somebody said that he had AIDS. And so Lex is like, yo, I never said that. Why are you bringing my name in it? And he like, yo, what I mean? If you ain't got AIDS, then don't worry about it. I'm like, what the hell? Like, what type of crazy shit is that? That you start a rumor about somebody because somebody else is saying, not the actual person that you're starting a rumor on. Somebody else is saying something about you with AIDS that you decide to now attack this person and make up a rumor about, So I just wanted to throw that out there.
The crazy thing about it is he has recording after recording of him saying that he had AIDS. Nobody's saying Saneter has AIDS but Saneter. We're only showing the video where he said it. Unbelievable.
Well, they saying that they saying that the doctor, he's saying that the doctor said he had AIDS from what I.
No, I got the other video where he said they took his blood and he was cured. I got one video. My brother Suge need to come up on here. Suge, the king of content. He need to come up on here. Suge got all the goods.
Yeah, he got all the
goods. Let me get Suge on.
Yeah, Suge. He got all that. I was looking at his channel one time. I'm like, damn, I didn't even know somebody saved that video.
Bro,
a lot of shit gets lost in the sauce.
Now you know we were into Saneter like anybody else, so we can't even front. We were waiting for the next upload, waiting for the what's the name, and we was enjoying the nonsense, getting the information and everything. But some reason Suge was enjoying it and saving that demonstration because he pulled out them joints, man. Goodness. I said, where's Suge? I said, man, I'm glad me and Suge cool because if I said some nonsense, Suge then saved it.
He got receipts, bro. That bro got receipts, bro.
Y'all need to go subscribe to Suge, the king of content.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he got receipts, bro.
I said, man, I be going back in my time. I like, man, did I say something corny? Was I lame? Did I lie? Because if I did, Suge got it. Suge got some technical stuff over there. So, but now when he said that about Lex Vortex, Lex, it wasn't even triggered from Lex.
No, they was going at it. You
know how people say something and it triggers a person to say, okay, I'm gonna get you. Like for instance, Saneter sent somebody to make a video about me, my family, and all of that. And I seen the video. I was like, man, these people crazy. You know what I'm saying? He didn't do it because you got to use certain. You got to use images. I'm gonna go ahead and play the Saneter game, just like he. You know what I mean? I'm gonna play the whole game. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna try to strike me. I'm gonna strike you. We're gonna do all that. We're gonna kamikaze all the way out. So he gets his little people to do these things. You follow what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, at this time, Saneter was doing the dirt himself. Like right now, he got a couple people doing it. Mommy, he had Michael Edwards doing it for him at one time. What's that other brother? I can't think of that other brother name.
Haven Bullets.
Huh?
Haven Bullets.
Haven Bullets. He had Haven Bullets doing it for him. Now he got Real G's doing it for him and a few other people. But the point that I'm making is, but at even that time, Saneter was, bro, you be remember too, Haven Bullet. I was trying to pull that name out for a long time last show. But now he was doing it himself then, right? But what I'm saying is there was no indication that Lex Vortex initiated anything. Now I know him and Saneter used to go back and forth. You know what I'm saying? But I never know he would make up something like that.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, like, from hearing that conversation, because I was waiting for like, okay, because it
And
was like a
that's my
back and forth
man, though,
where,
'cause
where
that's
he was subtly kind of denying it. So I put it out there like, no, you told me that. So I remember you told me that. You know what I mean?
you be matter of factly like Taj Tariq Bey, but you be
Yeah,
telling the truth. Taj Tariq be like, matter of fact, the USA stand for Unity, Salvation, Allah. He be so serious, like Taj, stop it. But so back to the original question, all of these attacks on religion has become its total content.
Yeah.
How do, like, take us through a journey how that happens?
Well, if you
I
want to
think
go,
we were there.
yeah, far enough back. And I was actually part of Imam Bashir's research team when he was actually doing his thing on the House of Consciousness. And so we could go back there. We could go back even further back to the conscious community itself and the anti-religious rhetoric that will go back into like John Henry Clark and Yosef Ben Yakin and their relationship with, religious organizations such as the Nation of Islam, their views of, people like Farrakhan and, Elijah Muhammad, because they actually go way back then. And if you look at John Henry Clark interview on that Wesley Snipes did, that interview, that documentary interview that he had, he made mention that he was actually with Malcolm when he went over and was offered, they said he was offered money by the Arabs to promote Orthodox Islam, and Malcolm refused. He refused to do it. So John Henry Clark was, communicating with Malcolm, and at the time where he was about to part ways with the Nation of Islam. So, he obviously Malcolm X gets assassinated, and I think it left some type of it was something there between, John Henry Clark and, the Nation of Islam, and it turned into, like, along with their research, because Yosef Ben Yakinen, he was a Falashin Jew, and he had an Israelite, I guess you could say Israelite background, in the sense that he believed that Black people were the Jews. So he would then make a transition over to atheism, and John Henry Clark, I don't think that he said atheism, but a lot of the information that he was showing was kind of in the realm of disproving certain things that we was accustomed to believing religiously, like, he points out, Egypt, and that being the foundation of, Christianity, and, Jesus was a carbon copy of Heru, and all those different things that was being brought out, that will be the foundation of the actual information, that was used. But I think that what that developed into, when these people got a hold of it, like, the Saneters and the others, I guess you could say their disciples, they would kind of weaponize the information to then attack religion, so the attack on religion, because if anybody know that, if they talked to Saneter and asked him, he said that he was his name was Quran Siddiq at a point in time. Quran Siddiq, and he was a Muslim at that time, and he at a point in time he was a member of the Nation of Islam. So he kind of went through those schools, I guess you could say, of thought, and so I guess, with that information, they began to, I guess they said he grew out of it. This is a certain some of the rhetoric that they use. I grew out of religion, so it turns into, now, once again, you couple that with new material. We need some new material, and we need some, so them actually going to the Israelites, them actually, talking about, I think SETI, the false teachings of the Moorish temple, and all those different things, now is, culminating into something that began to be a problem. Now we see this Kemet versus Israelite thing that still is going on to this day. I'm thinking we about damn near, shit, that's what, 6-7 years in to the Kemet on trial thing. and it still has a lingering effect on the relationship between people that believes in the Kemetic and the Israelites. So this is like, causing division. And I think that once it got to the point where it could be now monetized, that okay, when I come on here, I want to see somebody, about a Bible believing person or person that believe and have a religious foundation. I want to see them get beat up. I want to see them get beat up. And then once it becomes that, it becomes dangerous, because now you have to have a new person coming on there. You have to now have more anti-religious rhetoric, but that's their foundation. And, you look at the information from the individuals that they got it from. You had John Henry Clark quoting from Gerald Massey, Bulge, Wallace E. Bulge, and Alvin Boyd Kuhn. He reading these books, and it's part of like the New Age movement. Like this New Age movement, those were actually radical people, because the reason why they took that particular information, like Gerald Massey, is because they would admit that, like the Egyptians were black, but along with that, it was like a lot of anti-religious stuff along with it. So it was almost like a package deal that served as the foundation of the rhetoric that actually was beginning to be promoted by these individuals.
But now leading up to now, Saneter, that's Saneter total channel right now. As well, someone would say my total channel is to being on these frauds' heads. They call it exposing, but I'm not really exposing because it's already out there, but people just ain't really peeping it. So I'm going to peep it. Matter of fact, with that being said, let me share this real quick. I got like 2 more questions, but let me share this real quick, family. If you haven't been on the throne, right, you should go check it out. Let me show you something. This is the throne, right? And the other day we had, y'all see the European up there? She was on there. She was a part of the Black Panther movement under the Revolutionary Black Panther Party. What was his name? Ali Muhammad. And I interviewed her on there. Oh, man, it was crazy. But anyway, these are some of the things. If you wish to join the throne, that's not here, but it's on the throne. And let me see something.
Yes, from a bunch of people, honestly, every side, really. Mostly white people telling me my parents would be disappointed. Which is funny because my mom helped me like make protest signs and would like buy me stuff, buy waters, and help out with the protest. So
your mother was there. Hold up. This is beautiful. You should let me upload this. Your mother was actually helping you with the protest signs.
Yeah.
Go ahead, mama. So basically, we went through the whole interview, and she talked about her relationship with Ali Muhammad. She talked about her mama. Her uncle is really racist, and her mother was helping her fight the power signs. You hear this, Solarmind? Her mama was helping make
crazy.
And she was in the Revolutionary Black Panther Party. I said, how you feel about saying Black Power? She said, well, man, she was an excellent interview. And I just put the link in the throne for anybody who want to join the throne. I'm not going to upload this, but the throne is a paid platform, kind of like, what's that other paid platform, Solarmind, that everybody use?
A BitChute?
I don't know. It's some paid platform that everybody use, but I use the throne. It's kind of like your own little Facebook, and I do my interviews on there. Patreon, and the throne. I think the throne is more interactive. But real quick, Solarmind, indulge me. Let me hit him one more time with something else. So that was one, and then we did this one here with details about. She has also erroneously accused her ex. So this one we did last night with K Foss X. If anybody familiar with K Foss from the he was Grandmaster J second in command. And Michi X allegedly sends this letter to this lady, which is K Foss X. Oh man, we got all types of tea over here, bro. Sends the letter to the employer. And it's full of a bunch of typos. Oh my goodness, it's horrible. Misspelled words, and I butcher some stuff too. And so this was a good one last night. Also, misusing fraudulently PPP loan funds that were never received. This is crazy. She's talking like she's his attorney. And so what it was is that she's actually talking as if she's representing K Foss to this lady employer. So imagine if you did something to me, if you did something to say Hebrews in the Hood, you did something to Hebrews in the Hood, and I write your employer and say, yeah, he also did this on what's the name? He also do this. He also does live stream. I'm writing your employer for Hebrew in the Hood. That's what Michi X allegedly was doing. So anybody who wish to subscribe to Moorish World TV exclusive, that is the same one that we're going to have the brother to give that great detailed. It's going to be a great detailed presentation about what is that about the stab. Also, I got a greater detail breakdown that I'm going to have coming about NOI, the marriage of Europeans and NOI. Yeah, everybody's going to get mad, but we're going to talk about it. The white man is no longer the devil.
That's crazy.
No, for real. I got the goods, Solarmind. I got the goods. I got the goods. but yeah, so when we talk about this, that was a commercial break. So, and also, family, hit my Instagram, family. I need to get my Instagram up. Faith Speaks Life. Always remind y'all to hit my Instagram. I actually forgetting because I be learning too. Solarmind talking, he taking me on a journey also. You know what I'm saying? He helping me reminisce. But yeah, so now that he's attacking religion, any word on that? Because I be trying to figure out like where is this going?
You know, yeah, I think that's the last leg he got to stand on. I mean, that's just like, you know, the shock value and you know, anybody that watches the live streams will see that he has very little knowledge of understanding what is in the Bible, you know, in terms of, you know, what it's actually saying. So he'll point out like what, you know, basic, I say in quotes, contradictions, and to a person that's not really learned in the Bible enough to like refute it, he'll bring them on. You know, we have, you know, people you know, that's in my debate league, you know, so like Anonymous Hebrew, you know, Yarab Ben Nazareth, you know, he won't bring those guys on because they understand the scriptures and they're not going to allow him to do those things. So he'll bring somebody on that, you know, it's all shock value stuff and it's all for like, you know, I guess, you know, entertainment purpose to a sector of, you know, people that's anti-religious. But let me say this real quick in terms of like so anti-religious movement. We know that, you know, that in itself was started by, you know, Europeans. You know what I'm saying? This whole anti-religious movement. You know, we know that us in here in America, you know, our foundation was from religion. You know, you look at Nat, you know,
that's right, brother.
You look at Nat Turner, you know, Nat Turner, and you know, he actually, when you read his biography, I have a friend that actually compiled information on Nat Turner, brother Kareem. He wrote a book on, he called him the Prophet Nat Turner. And what he did was he took the criterias of how, you know, the Abrahamic faiths classify a prophet, and he applied it to Nat Turner. And what Nat Turner said was that he was receiving messages, like, you know, messages from the Creator. And he was told to do the actual he was told to actually do the actual revolt when he during this eclipse that was supposed to happen at this point in time, you know, and he said that he was seeing black images fighting white images, and that, you know, so that led him actually to know the time when to actually do the revolt. So, you know, we know if you read about Nat Turner that he actually had a religious foundation. He was like a preacher, you know. So, you know, you look at that, and then you look at these organizations that begin to develop right after, you know, the emancipation of the slaves, you know, which would be the Moorish Science Temple, the Nation of Islam, And these are people that was deeply rooted in religious philosophy, and they would use, the information and the knowledge and the understanding to actually galvanize Black people to begin to develop, a counterculture living under white supremacy. That would be the foundation. So in terms of the actual works, it's not even close, in terms of, what these people did and they're what they actually represented, and these are monumental movements that shaped America. It shaped America. These movements shaped America. So it's disrespectful to actually come against that. Now, and that's why I mentioned, like, John Henry Clark in this situation that they had with the Nation of Islam, which serves as the foundation of, like, a lot of this information began to come out. And I think that it was I got a lecture of Yosef Ben Yakinen. He calling names out. So he started calling out Farrakhan. He started calling out, the nation. He started calling out. And then, and he announced then that he was like an atheist, so he left his Israelite, understanding, and he went to atheism. But, we know that even a church from a Christian standpoint, that would be like the foundation of, the communication that was going on, which led to the civil rights movement, whether we agree with it or not. But, these were, religion was a foundation of communication for the Black community, and it would be a slap in the face for somebody to attack that. So why do they attack that is what the question would be. Why do they attack the religion when they don't have any of the receipts that I just said? This quote unquote, this comedic, understanding of the origins of, Black civilizations, and they don't have the receipts, in terms of the effectiveness that it had on galvanizing the people. So why do they attack religion? And it's all for, like, initially it started from an informational standpoint, but now it turned into, monetary gain. You know what I'm saying? It's like almost like a whole thing where, you have like the House of Consciousness now, bringing on individuals to clown them, they have a religious understanding. And like I said, he chooses very carefully who he wants to actually bring on. You don't want to bring on the learned people. So it's almost like a smear campaign on religion that is intentionally being orchestrated by the House of Consciousness, while they bringing on certain individuals that is not as learned as, others to try to paint a negative image of religion. And when we say it goes back into, once again, when you make this connection, we don't know that this whole atheist anti-religious movement was started by Europeans.
Absolutely.
And what I found out to be interesting is, like, when you look at it across the line, from bringing on individuals, telling you to get the vaccination, and you got people on there, going against religion and like everything. So I'm like, damn, what exactly do y'all disagree with what the white man's doing?
Hey, bro,
y'all agree with everything that the damn white man is doing.
Hey, bro, I'm gonna tell you, when I decided that it was all a game, because I used to think at one time that we could have that conversation and I could represent the Moors, and I find out, man, they was hiding, secretly record me. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like me and you talk on the phone, right? And I'm thinking we just having a conversation, and say if it going towards religion and we get to that point where as though you're making a strong point, he would be recording the whole conversation and clip that demonstration and then say this happened, that happened, this happened, and then upload it. I'm like, good goodness gracious, I didn't know we was doing this. But after a few times, I said, okay, now this is the game. This is the game that we play. And so if you notice, Solarmind, if you ever watch me go on Saneter TV, I start, no, let me tell you something. No, hey! I'll go over talk them, because I know it's a game at that point. You know what I'm saying? I would never let him get a word in edgewise on his own platform, and I will force him to get me out the platform because it's a game. Has he ever attacked your debate league after you completely separated yourself?
Yeah. His relationship with Black Jesus Minister, because like Black Jesus Minister, and you was actually one of the founding members of the debate league, if you rather know it or not.
I remember I was on there.
Yeah. So it was like Black Jesus Minister, he knew Black Jesus Minister, and that whole thing that happened with them because he was a member of my debate league. And once I think
Oh, that's why he ain't want to send him his trophy.
Well, no, that was a whole thing that happened later on.
Yeah,
but like it was a couple years back.
He was Minister, the baddest man.
That's my bad. Yeah, that was the he was a member of my debate league, and what he did, he was trying to sabotage it from the beginning. So I started debate league. He announces on Saneter TV because he had debates, but he didn't have a debate league. So he announces on his channel, like, I'm about to start a debate league. This is what he's saying. I'm about to start a debate league. This was a couple years. This was back in season 1. We on season 4 now. So I'm like, okay, that's baby hate, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? So me and Black Jesus Minister get into a disagreement. So he's watching the show. So what he does is he get in contact with Black Jesus Minister and bring him over there on the House of Consciousness. This is the type of stuff that was going on. You know what I'm saying? And then it turns into this whole thing where he's like the minor leagues, and he's just throwing little shady shots, at the debate league, So it's like, I don't know what that is because, he gets way more views, I don't say nothing. I didn't say nothing about him and what he's doing. And, the foundation of the debate league was around, Imam Bashir, because, he was on here, not too long ago where, like I said, I was part of his research team. So I was behind the scenes and knowing that Saneter was editing the videos intentionally, to make, Imam Bashir look like he was this unlearned Muslim and didn't know what he's talking about. So a lot of stuff was edited, so the idea initially was to, paint a new image of Imam Bashir, but it turned into a whole thing because him and Gorilla Hebrew wanted to have like 3 debates, and then I got in contact with like Orthodox Moore, and he wanted to have 3 debates, and then it was like more people coming. Julian Nazareth, they came in, and so it turned into like, well, I might as well start a debate league. Is all these people coming in? So that's what it turned into, a debate league from there. But the foundation of that would be, once again, Saneter, having this anti-religious agenda. And he's trying to have using Imam Bashir as one of his pawns to try to paint a negative image of Islam in particular and religion in general.
Wow, bro, you lay down that history like, man, you lay down that history. Now Cryptonomics say, Saneter, you're done. On his last leg right here, you think he's going out with a bang? He gonna make a couple videos about us and go out with a bang, or he just gonna ride it out?
Hey man, look, I didn't say nothing, that wasn't true. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a person that does like, the fuck shit and oh yes, I know blah blah blah, and rumors and all that type of. This is all what happened. This is stuff that happened. You know what I mean? So he shouldn't be offended by that. It means just telling what happened.
Bro, let me tell you something. I seen a video the other night because every time I glance, because if you're into podcasting and doing this, I glanced over there, and I just glanced over there the other day, and he was talking to 10 Toes Down. I said, man, I might want to leave him alone. He looked like he's aged in the last 3 weeks since I've been doing these. He does. He looked like he's aged, brother. He looked like his fronts that he bought was about to fall out, and his lips stinking dead because he ain't got the teeth. But y'all don't know, but don't worry about that. Anyway, the point that I'm making is he seems like I'm telling you, it seems like he's on his last, he ain't got no more fight in him. Now we know that Saneter would have made tons of videos trying to defend himself. It seemed like his fight is gone. I'm gonna ask Solarmind, and then I'm gonna ask the people, should we let him ride? I will go take him to the end. What you think, Solarmind?
Well, I mean, in terms of what he's doing, what I'm saying, like, what did he expect? He has a whole platform where he attacks people that has these beliefs. Like, you expect them to just sit down idle and let this go on forever? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're kind of making a mockery of these very important. This is not no plaything. You know what I'm saying? In terms of the effectiveness that the Moorish Science Temple of America did for Black people. You know what I'm saying? Remember, back in the times of, the anti-war movement, they had a very solid way of, giving, Black men freedom from even participating in those white man's wars. That's important. That's something that has to be respected. And in terms of, like say the Nation of Islam and all the different religious organizations, they have a history, that is, should be put on a pedestal. And I think that, for just trivial gain, it just lacks integrity. And
Yeah, and I think what I think is good. I'm one who support debating. You know what I'm saying? I support debating. I'm a strong one who believes that a respectable debate is necessary for the mental. But man, when you start to get to the disrespectful part, and you start to just talking, and what Saneter does is when you look at the Hebrew information, or let me not say Hebrew, the biblical information, Saneter literally, you can tell. I've seen people do it. I've done it in my early parts of development and research. All he do is Google contradictions in the Bible.
Right.
That's all he do. He copy it and paste it, and then he like, oh, I can research. No, you're not, Saneter. You probably can't even read. Cut it out. That's how Polight was able to give you a couple $1,000, and he walked away with almost 80,000 from all of those lectures. Get out of here with that.
And the thing is, like, like I said, I run a debate league, but so I don't have absolutely no problem with people with different ideologies exchanging information and understanding. But see, the problem that occurred over there was, once again, like is what you talk about, this anti-religious agenda and him having this sort of biasness, towards certain information, and you're like the platform. So it's like, I go on there and it's like a side of the experience. A sign of the experience. What's the sign of the experience? Like, say if I'm like a person that's an Israelite or a person that believes in, the Moorish science, I come on there, I'm expecting me to debate, Polight, So I goes on there and we're having a conversation. So Polight is doing his thing, So Saneter is hitting the button, dropping the bombs, and man, and blah, blah, blah. He's doing all these things, and I'm sitting here, and then it's like, okay, cool. He got the home field advantage, I'm assuming. So a person that's learned, he begins to clap back and he begins to say some things. And then when he hit his man Polight with a blow, then Saneter comes in. No, brother, but you got to do, and then you'll say something like, well, wait a minute. I'm here to debate Polight. What the hell do you? He'll meet you out, brother. This is the side of the experience, and this is why it always turns into something that is beyond debating, because it's like, okay, what did you bring me in on? Is this some type of setup? Is this some type of shock jock shit? What's going on with this?
Mighty Hebrew is in the building. He'll be here soon. We're going to be talking about his transition from the United States to Africa soon. Mighty Hebrew has relocated and repatriated itself into Africa family. He'll be on here soon. We're just waiting to get our time right. I already talked to him. That's my bro. Like this is a brother. Like you, bro. And I gotta honor you for what you're saying, brother. You like, these movements have been instrumental in making their mark towards our liberation. Whether we are there yet or not, they have been instrumental. And when you look at a brother like Mighty Hebrew and his family, they just packed up and say, listen, we going back to Africa, and we're going to see if we can make this work. We're going to build this this Hebrew community, this Israelite community, and we're going to do it. See, that's a conscious community.
Right.
That's a conscious community. When you say whether you go there or whether you do it here on the ground, that's a conscious community. A conscious community is not talking Black Power, but then wrap Christmas gifts under a tree and give it to your children. That's not a conscious community. That's not a conscious community at all. A conscious community is not one that sit up there and soon as you disagree with somebody, invite them to your private parts, knowing that you can't beat nobody. You can't fight. You can't. Nobody and nobody wants to fight you. but you talk like you really want that smoke. You know what I'm saying? Cut it out. You don't want that smoke. But this is honor to brother Mighty Hebrew. That's real consciousness. When your consciousness motivates you to make a change, that's consciousness. All that other stuff, man, people just playing games.
And you know, from a standpoint of like, because they'll say like, you know, when these religions come from the white man, and they have a whole rhetoric that they spew. But you know, from the Moorish Science Temple to, you know, the Nation of Islam to the Israelites, and it's like, you know, you have your school of thought. You know, my idea in the terms of, you know, me being an apologist, I guess you could say, if in the cracker terms of all those different avenues of information, is that, well, if you're going to be a Muslim, just join the Moorish Science Temple. And if you want to be, you know, or the Nation of Islam, if you want to be a, you know, follow the Bible, then become a Black Israelite. You know what I'm saying? These are different avenues or different schools of thought, you know. But I think that it could have been just left to debating. You know what I'm saying? You know, in terms of what's going on over there. But you know, but the agenda kind of superseded that. You know, this and what exactly is this agenda? You know, and it's kind of like to be continued on that, because, you know, we know that, you know, like we were saying that, you know, he was part of political organizations. You know what I'm saying? He was, you know, one of the, I guess the people that was head of the chapter in the Black Panther Party. So, you know, he actually did proactive stuff outside of just debating. You know, so in terms of, you know, kind of meshing everything together to see like, well, what happened from that to this anti-religious thing, that's a great area that really nobody really, you know, effectively entertained. Like, was it some type of compromise, and what happened? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because you know, I have DVDs, because I you know, I could, you know, I was watching all that shit.
Bro, I got a box full of DVDs.
Yeah. So I have a DVD where he went into this festival. This is Saneter, and he went in there. He had the pictures of the slaves and all that type of stuff, and you know what happened to us. And he begins to talk about you know what happened to us, and he began to call the white man the devil. You know what I'm saying? He called the white man the devil, and it was like people coming to him. Then they called the police on him, and then he still was there saying the white man was the devil. That Saneter is different from today's Saneter. He don't call the white devil no more. He don't call the man the devil no more.
And you know what? I wouldn't even if one says he grew up and he don't call the white man the devil, I would get that. But your whole principles is savage. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, take away calling the white man the devil. Cool, fine. But bro, you get to disagreeing with somebody and you invite a grown man to your privates, brother. You call a sister a B. Like, how do you go from NOI, the head of the Black Panther chapter in Harlem, to sink to the point where as though you're just so disgustingly, is that a word? Disgustingly.
Yeah, that's a word.
Disrespectful. How do you sink that? You understand what I'm saying? So, man, that's the problem. And that's why I say he got to go. Because he's have carried on this behavior far too long. Like, what type of confusion is being imparted to the children that turn on a Saneter TV, Black News 102, and they hear the good information, if you will, but then the good information is drowned out with the bad information in the form of attacks, the bad information in the form of sensationalism, bad information in the form of disagreement and disrespectful and low down commentary. You know what I'm saying? Like, so now the children are being redoctrinated and confused as to what is consciousness. They think it's okay to be consciousness and have no character.
Right.
Like, how can you be conscious and have a filthy character?
Mm-hmm.
That ain't. And so now our people, because a lot of us get all of our information from the internet, unfortunately. I mean, a lot of people don't even pick up a book no more. You feel what I'm saying? So now they left to look at some form of consciousness, and the ancestors guide you to these things. Some people don't even be able to wiggle out. But let me say this, brother, before you carry on and we wrap up. I got like 10 minutes, but Solar Vision Debate League. I just put the link in here, family. I've been putting the link in here while Solarmind was talking. Y'all should go there and subscribe there if y'all like a good debate, a good intellectual debate without the antics. I don't know if Judah Nazareth still do the antics. I remember we was debating and that brother came out with a bucket on his head.
The chicken bucket debate. Yeah. He's no longer a member of the debating, but shout out to Judah Naz. You know, he got his own channel.
I was like, man, what is that all about? I thought we would put the bucket on his head, acting crazy. I'm like, that don't bother me. Like, come on, man.
That definitely was unexpected. I didn't know.
It's all about like you from Philly, and you know Philly and Baltimore is much alike. Like even if you go and see it, they even look
they look alike. Yeah, definitely
look alike. Bro, I don't know about your neighborhood, but all my life I was talking about my eyes. You got frog eyes, big eyes, little head. I had to learn how to crack. None of that stuff bothers me.
Yeah, you get desensitized after a while after so many jokes.
Like, you got little arms. Look at your arms. I mean, all the way to school. I mean, all the way up until a young adult. And now you talking about I wear a bucket on my head. I'm supposed to get mad. Like, I mean, so that's good to hear right there. What do you got coming up next for the debate league?
Well, we're going into season 4 right now. So that will begin the week of September 6th. And we're going to have it like an award show where we actually give out awards to the debaters and, acknowledge them for the accomplishments that they did in the previous season. So that probably will be going on around September 1st. So, if you want to tune in for that, that definitely will be awesome. Good for the debaters.
Judas Naz is the Messiah.
Chicken bucket debate.
But you know what? I don't. Judah jumped on the Paul show and came at me, and we haven't talked in years, bro. I didn't get that from Judah. I'm like, why would Judah do that? Because in fact, Judah does have some good information that I would love for him to display. But bro, you like, what in the world? Why would you join into an attack with somebody like you don't even know what this is? He wants to be like Saneter. No, I don't. I want to knock Saneter out the box because he's not good for the social media community.
He said the same thing about me. That's what he said. He's my mini me over there, and then he's all types of shots he throws at. But the objective would be, you need people that's behind the scenes that actually is given a unbiased platform for people to articulate their views and perspectives, and that's would be the objective for the Solar Vision Debate League, and it came as a direct result of the biasness that was going on Saneter's channel. So entertain and anybody that wants to have a conversation or want to become a part of the debate league, you just hit the link and eventually contact me, solarmind123@gmail.com. And I make you a member of the debate league. But in terms of the subject at hand, definitely was much needed because a lot of people that may not go as far back as we go, and there's a lot of things that led up into this point. And I think that ultimately, in terms of like kind of moving forward, this has to be laid down and being brought to yourself to Harker Bay. It's only fitting that individual like you is opening up your platform now to actually bring these things out. So it's much appreciated.
Indeed, brother. And I appreciate you back. Anything you want to say in closing, brother?
Yeah, it was one thing that I wanted to bring up about the platform, but it slipped my mind. So I'll just go ahead and close out. You're giving a shout out to Moore's World TV. Definitely looking forward to, getting to that information about, them shots is what you say, from the guy that's coming on, and definitely appreciate you open up your platform for me to actually bring these things out once again. You're muted, brother.
Well, I appreciate you, bro, and I definitely would love to bring you on here because, brother, you got a whole wealth of information that I think is pretty consistent with where I'm trying to go. I'm trying to go, and after I knock these frauds out the box, I ain't gonna never stop knocking them out the box. But nevertheless, on the rebound, we need to get back to the information because the people needs the information from an uncut, unbiased perspective.
And yeah, you just reminded me of what I wanted to say, like the importance of what you just said in terms of, getting back to the information. We live in a very critical time now. It's like a transitioning going on from like technologically, seeing with the 5G, then people don't know that that's going to shape society as what we know it. They say that once 5G is implemented, it's going to have the same impact as the Industrial Revolution. If anybody knows, you read about the Industrial Revolution, that's when they began to have, motor cars and trains. It changed society. So we living in a very interesting time right now of a great transition. And it's only incumbent that we have our excellent minds coming out and giving us the know-hows and the agendas that may come with this transition. And this is what they talk about, the great transition. And it's certain terms that's thrown out there like Agenda 21 and what is these things, you know what I'm saying? And we dealing with the shot all of a sudden and all these things that's coming with that. So while all this is going on, we literally had a bunch of white folks, go into the White House. They was trying to go in the White House. Like I wanted to hear, in a Taharka Bay breakdown of that. You know what I'm saying? They're going, and so this is what we thought that channel was supposed to be representing. So while all this stuff is going on, I tune into there and it's like, oh, some anti-Bible stuff and the she brews and this and that. And, it's talking about like, stuff that is not really, can be applied to what's going on at this day and time, so it's like, it's almost serving as a distraction in many ways of, getting us from understanding what's actually going on. It's almost like
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? A false reality that we could, because it's called the house of consciousness. So I'm thinking generally when I tune in, and this is how it was before, like in the early 2000s, they was talking about 9/11. They was talking about, you know what I'm saying? I would hear, them bringing out stuff about that. And okay, let me hear this perspective because this is not on mainstream media. But now when I turn into it, it's like, damn, they just ran into the White House. Let me see what the house of consciousness is like. Oh, the she brews and, exposing the Bible contradictions. And this is what I'm like, damn, like, well, I guess they're not talking about this event that just happened. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why it's important that once again, we level the playing field as to, the information and the avenues of information that's being disseminated and then get back to the information, once that's done.
100, bro, 100. And that's what we're going to be working towards. So I'm definitely going to be reaching out to you soon to try to get into some of the information that you just explained. So salute, my brother. I appreciate you. And family, prepare for the next show. Thank you, family. And also, family, go there and subscribe. Let me tell you something. Subscribe to the link to his debate league. And this is why. Whether you like the debates or not, what you would do is you will help his algorithms so it can get exposure. So other people, if they check the debates and they like the debates, then they can get the information. Mm-hmm. So even if you don't even say, for instance, you ain't really into debating, you know what I'm saying? Still subscribe, you know what I'm saying? And while you're over there, share one time. And that is, believe it or not, people be talking about donations and cash apps and all that.
Yeah, that's even better than that. Yeah.
A subscription, whereas though it will help the algorithms to help people to get to the information, sometimes it's better than a cash app. You know what I'm saying? The cash app does help, but the people need the information and they need it uncut, and these debate leagues, especially him and my brother, JJ 7,000.
Yeah, it's 5,000.
Yeah, 5,000. I can't do that. Jeremiah Judah.
No, it's 7,000. It's 7,000. I'm messing.
Jeremiah Judah. I think he runs a respectable league too. he jumps out the window sometime, but he always come back in and be like, man, listen, my bad. But I like his antics, I like his intent, and it's very good. So so family, just help out to get these algorithms going. All right. Thank you, brother Solarmind.
All right, thank you, brother.
All right, peace. Hey, so family, coming up next, family, coming up next. Listen to me. I'm gonna show y'all something real quick. Y'all ready? Coming up next, family, I'm gonna take y'all on a journey with me. Right? Give me 1 second. Let me see something. If I can pull it up real quick. I'm gonna take y'all on a journey with me. I want to show you how our people has literally sold us out. You know what I'm saying? And you might not like it, but I gotta do it. So listen, first of all, it doesn't make a difference to me how you see me. I'm going to give you the truth, whether you like it or not. And as you heard me say earlier, me, my mother, and my sons went to the Amish village. These people, listen to me, these people carved out a piece of property to themselves and began to build on this property. They're self-sustaining, and always they grow their own food and they harvest it. 5 different type of apple orchards, pear trees, plum trees, all on their land. Cows, pigs. Now, I ain't eating no pig. You know what I'm saying? But when I'm talking about their self-sustaining communities, they drill their own well. They use, people be thinking of the Amish people back in the Stone Age. They actually use solar power. They're using solar power. They off the grid. They're not paying anything to a utility company. They drilled their own water. Listen, I seen this when I was young, but now that I'm older and I'm conscious and I know that we need something like this for us, I'm saying, man, these leaders have sold us out. They have taken the money and ran. They got fancy suits. They got fancy cars. They got fancy homes. They are living the American dream and calling it an American nightmare to you. I'm telling you. They are living the American dream as described by Europeans. You hear what I'm saying? The American dream, one little boy, one little girl, a house, nice car, a nice job, and some insurance. That's how they live in the American dream. Then they get into religion, and then that dream become paradise. They live in a bigger house. You support them, you still live in your home that you can afford to the best of your earnings. They get a better car. You afford the car that you can afford according to your earnings. You still depend on the European to make sure that your water runs in your house. You don't depend on yourself for your water. Why do you think that it's so hard for you to tap into God's green earth and get that water to flush your own doo-doo? Why ain't our leaders talking this talk? That we should be digging our own wells and our own land to flush our own doo-doo. Don't give me that stuff. As soon as you build it, they're going to tear it down. That was the reason why they birthed it in the first place, to try to convince you that you should not do it again. We got to wake up, family. We got to wake up. Look at this. Listen to this. I ain't living with wild people running crazy. You see that? For black righteous folks home. You see that? Why do you believe that all of us are wild and running crazy? Is that what you believe? You believe that 100 out of 100% of us are wild and running crazy? You believe that? But you full black righteous folks, if you believe that 100 out of 100 of us are running crazy, you are in a sad state of mind. I hope that's not what you meant by your statement. It's time for us to wake up. It's time for us to wake up. And if you don't want to live in that community, then at least support the community. I'm telling you, I'm going to try it again. I tried it in the city. It ain't going to work in the city. We have to separate ourselves. And what I mean by separate ourselves, we need to separate ourselves. Begin on maybe 10 acres. Begin on about 10 acres and then spread it on out. We don't need to be yelling at the white man, the devil. Who cares? We don't need to be worrying about what the white man did and what he might do. We got enough history to know how we supposed to respond. We should be focusing on what we need to do. Look at this. And the cold part is the Amish out there thriving with our forefathers' knowledge. Listen, we don't own no knowledge. We don't have a monopoly on knowledge. So those people are doing their own thing. There is not one European, including the Amish, who has not profited from our knowledge. There's not one people. Listen, to my brother Nagas, we can still have our cell phones. We can still have our fans. We can still have our microwave. We can still have our TV. We don't have to live like the Amish. We just got to have our own and provide for ourselves. We can use cellular power. We can develop cellular power to power our TV. We can use cellular power to power our microwaves. We can use all of these things. We don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. We just need our own. We just need our own. We can still have our car. We can still go to the mall. We can still do all these things. We don't have to live like we are in the 1800s. What I'm saying is, we need to cut the umbilical cord. We need to become a nation within a nation. Cut the umbilical cord. That's all we need to do. All of this solar power, man, listen. This sun is ours. One of the greatest lies that ever been told, is that you need to go and get a bill for electricity. That's one of the greatest lies that's been told. One of the greatest lies that's been told is that I better pay my water bill. Right beneath your feet. It's all yours. Right beneath your feet, it's all yours. And the thing is, you don't have to dig it. You got the money. You got the resources. And everybody, and let me say this. Everybody ain't coming, so get over it. Everybody ain't coming. Stop thinking. Listen, one of the greatest things that I did in my journey as a Moorish American Muslim, I accepted the fact that everybody ain't going to be a Moorish American Muslim. But everybody that have experienced what I experienced is my brother and my sister, and we are in this together. And I will still challenge you. And you can still challenge me. But at the end of the day, let's go get the bag. At the end of the day, let's secure the bag. At the end of the day, let's secure our community that have yet to be built. Because these communities we live in ain't ours. Who ready to take on that? Who ready to take on that? Soon as somebody get locked up, you can raise 50,000, 100,000. Do you know what 100,000 can do in a out in Delaware with some land, out in Virginia with some land, out in Arizona with some land? Do you know? Grandmaster Jay earned or raised over $100,000. Do you know what that can do? In an open space? Y'all think it's expensive? Soon as someone get locked up, everybody putting up the GoFundMe. But if Umar Johnson, he put up the GoFundMe for a school, raised over $1 million for a school. Do you know what $1 million can do to start a community? It don't need to be elaborate. $1 million. You get about a couple module homes on that demonstration. You get the farm started. You get the well drilled. You get the solar panels. Put a couple families out there. And then everybody moving in slowly but surely. What they can afford. Come on in. Let me show y'all something real quick. I want to show y'all something if I can. Give me a second. Let me see, where did I just put that at? I think it's right here. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna give you just a little clip. I want to show you something. So, give me 1 second.
The board walls, the gate, the little puppies there.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull it up right now. See if I can catch it.
The Saskatchewan River was very wide there, half a mile wide. But the southern troops, southern troops were coming. They were going to go across.
So look. So let me show you something real quick. So I asked them. Somebody had asked them about. I think they was asking them about how did the Amish survive during the Civil War? And we at this point, we're in the barn, right? Give me a second.
The Saskatchewan River was very wide there, half a mile wide. But the southern troops, southern troops were coming. They were going to go across that bridge to get in Lancaster City, and Lancaster City didn't have enough troops to stop them. So they started a bonfire in the middle of the bridge. They were just going to try and contain it, but it burned the whole bridge down.
Oh my God.
The whole bridge fell in the Conestoga River, and southern troops never came to Lancaster. The next bridge was way far away. There was only one bridge to Lancaster County, Lancaster City. So that stopped the southern troops from taking over. If they were coming to Lancaster City, they might have come out here too. I don't know what would happen, but they had to build a new bridge, but they saved the city. It did work. But they and figure on burning.
So look, what I was showing there, right? What I was showing there, as you see, I was panning around. They built that by hand. Every piece of wood in there was cut from a tree by hand 50, 60 some years ago, right? And then they just added on. The point that I'm making is that they don't depend on At one point, they didn't depend on any outside interference. They just went to the woods and they did their thing. You see this? This is what they want us to believe. Never just be yours under this system. Impossible. This is what they want you to believe. This way you will never get started to build anything because you believe that it's impossible. That it's impossible because you believe. One of the reasons that we believe that it's impossible is because we believe that we have to taunt, we have to challenge, and we have to address this European. I made a statement. I said, these Amish people are making so much money, and they've been around since the 1800s. They walking around with a straw hat, and they could possibly have a nuclear weapon hidden out in their field somewhere, ready for whatever. But we look at them on their donkey. We look at them on their mule. We look at them with their buggy. And we're so sick in the mind that we don't realize that they understand the value of something is only worth the protection that you have on it. They could be sitting, they could have scientists, we don't know, but we know they're getting that bread. We know they're getting that bread. Everywhere you went in the Amish village, something was for sale. They had doodle puppies. What you call them puppies? Them hypoallergenic puppies. Man, they wasn't playing with you. I'm trying to tell you. Let me see something. They wasn't playing with you. They was not playing with you. Let me see if I can pull it up. They were selling everything. Give me 1 minute. They were selling everything. I'm gonna do a whole documentary on this soon. You know what I mean? They were selling everything. You know what I'm saying? And reproducing more. You feel me? Look at that.
Yeah. He works till Friday. He works till Friday. Oh, okay. Come on, Warren. Wake up. They are getting tired. There's an Airbnb right in top of his garage. They got an apartment here that they rent out to tourists. Oh, that's what that one that I was in Florida. Oh, yeah. Airbnbs are popular. They are ever so much. Very much popular. So nice. A couple weeks ago, you were in Florida a couple weeks ago. Yeah, it was warm down there. Yeah, they cooperated the whole time I was there, but it didn't. We had a good time. Here comes another wagon load. I don't think these guys will go out again. I'm pretty sure they won't. I'm pretty sure they won't go out again. I know they don't want to. What time do they go out? Usually 5 or 6. Well, Saturdays are business day. Saturdays you're often working later than other days.
So look, there's another look. They giving these tours. You feel what I'm saying? They're not playing. To the left of the screen is apple orchards. And they have them miles and miles and miles. You follow what I'm saying? Now, let me say this. He said, I'm talking about true freedom, not just saying it on YouTube, but you all know who know. Anyhow, I just witnessed you take a snippet out of a whole chat. Not sure what you're talking about, family. The point that we're talking about is true freedom have to start somewhere. These people started in the 1800s and they have been left alone. He can take you all the way back to the ship that his ancestor came on from Germany. Freedom have to start from somewhere. We can't use these silly excuses, and freedom got to start somewhere. What do we use this philosophy right here? I'm talking about true freedom. What true freedom you talking about? It got to start from somewhere. And we are here. And we are here. Again, we ain't got to get rid of our cars. We ain't got to get rid of the comforts. But we need to get our own, secure our own, and provide for ourselves. And we can do it here. Because I don't know what anybody thinking. If you go, all the stories you hear about people relocating to Africa, there's going to be challenges there. There's going to be people there that treat you like you're a foreigner. So what you talking about? We're bastard people with no home? The world is our home. And we have to make it our home. The reason why we fall short of making our own, because the fear that this European has put into you is at the forefront of your mind. And you think if you build it, he's going to steal it. If he's build it, he's going to burn it. If he build it, you're going to take it. And ultimately, what that means is you feel weak and like a punk because you can't defend yourself. So ultimately, you feel weak, defeated, and like a punk. You're scared to build because you think you're going to take it. You're scared to build because you don't think you can defend yourself. You're scared to build because you don't have the knowledge to establish yourself in order to defend yourself. Ultimately, you're a punk. Family, I'm sorry if I offended anybody. I apologize, but this is just the fact of the matter. If you won't step up and build something here or anywhere, it's because you are in fear. You are in fear. That's right. You are in fear. Now, again, he says, all I said was meant the mentality and the mental health have to be addressed. We can't say it's not a huge issue. I said before, everybody ain't gonna come. We have enough mentally stable people here to get it started. We don't need the mental ill can take care of the mental ill. Jesus said it best, let the dead bury the dead. We have enough sane people of sound mind to start it. Why are you focusing on the mentally ill? Of course, many of us are totally out of our mind. Half of us is somewhat out of our mind, and another third of us is messed up too. But we got enough people here with sound mind to get this thing right. But you're focusing on the mentally ill. Unbelievable to me. That's your focus? Your focus on we can't. My focus on let's do it. Your focus on we got to focus on the mental ill. No, you focus on the mental ill. I'm going to focus on the builders and the workers that think this can be done. You focus on the mental ill. You focus on the straitjacket. You focus on the pills. You focus on the Adderall. I'm going to focus on the people the sound people that I believe is amongst us that can get this done. That's what I'm going to focus on. And if that European or anybody else, by the way of the European, has taught you that we cannot do something because of some mental illness, and you think 100 out of 100% are mentally ill, you are the only mentally ill one amongst us right now. If you feel that 100 out of 100 of us are mentally ill, and none of us is capable of starting with 10 acres, you're the mentally ill one. You're counted in the number of the mentally ill. You're counted in the number of the mentally ill. See this? Good luck, more. This is how we defeat ourselves. This is how we defeat ourselves. This is how we defeat ourselves. Listen, I would build a community with 20 sane, strong people with good intentions before I get anybody that would tell me, good luck, more. Give me 20 people. Move that to 50 people. Move that to 100 people. And then let the next generation take it to the other level. Y'all think these Europeans came over here with some dramatic numbers and overpowered our brothers and sisters here? Y'all really think so? They didn't come with no dramatic numbers. They came with a plan. Shut your mouth, build your numbers, be cool until you're in a position to move. That's wisdom. That's wisdom. That's wisdom. Go on, wave this. Go on, wave this. Keep old liberty. Go on, build your thing. Build your numbers. Build your strength. And when you're in a position, then you make things happen. That's all the European did. He didn't go nowhere with no great numbers. He didn't go to Africa with major numbers. He didn't come to the Americas with major numbers. He came with wicked, wise ability to manipulate. And look at him now. And look at him now. Look at him now. Someone says, I'd rather have my own liberty. Well, let me tell you about a Trojan horse. Read the story of the Trojan horse, Joseph Israel. Wisdom. Wisdom. Wisdom will leave ignorance at the starting line. Wisdom will leave ignorance at the starting line. Use wisdom. Oh, the Moors carried the American flag. Use wisdom. Use wisdom. Get other people around you that's smart. I surround myself with intelligent people. Even the people that I've met on social media. Faith Speaks, Dolores, C-Trey, Sean, Cryptonomics, my brother Nagaz, Rasul Ali. I can go on and on. We may not agree on everything, but one thing we do agree on, global media in the building. One thing we do agree on, that we gotta dig ourselves up out this, and we gotta start somewhere. I'm gonna lead the charge. I'm gonna lead the charge. I'm telling you, we don't have no leaders. I'm gonna lead the charge. We don't have no leaders. Get over it. Get over it. If someone has been leading for 30 or 40 years since the 80s, and they have not figured out that we need an area of our own, and then add on, they haven't figured that out yet. They build a big church. They build a big mosque. They build a big temple. They come in there with the same speeches. They put another mosque here. They put another temple there. They put another house there. Same speeches. Guess what? All along, while they telling the same speeches, they sending their people to the same European grocery stores. They sending their people to the same European suit makers. They sending out people. They're not getting out people to the point where they're making the suits from a manufacturing perspective. Everything that they do is promotion to buy in to their ideal that'll ultimately keep them lifted up. Everything. Everything. The fancy suits, all polished up, is to warm your heart to continue to follow something that ain't getting you nowhere. And all it does continues to build somebody else's dream. Let me get this, Crip, before I go out there. Crip say we wouldn't need college if we had our own community. The community teaches people. Listen to me. These structures, I'm glad you said that, and I'm going to take it out with this, Crip. These structures, right? Give me 1 second. These structures. Hold up. Let me go back one. Let me see if I can get it right here. Here we go. I want to show you something. Listen, y'all think the Amish live like some Stone Age? Let me show you something. I'm gonna pan this camera around real quick. Watch this. Stop right there. That's an Amish house. Y'all see that? That's an Amish house. That's an Amish house. They built that. Y'all see that? That's an Amish house. Independent. Someone says, when we going to exit it out of these countries and states and move to our land? Go ahead. I ain't going nowhere, Corey. Go ahead. You're free to go. This is our land. This is our land. I ain't going nowhere. If you want to go, Corey, go. I ain't going nowhere. I'm staying right here. I'm staying right here. This is our land. I ain't going nowhere. You can go. And anybody that agree with me that want to stay here, then we can put this down. But look at these houses that they built. And to my brother Cryptonomics' point, they ain't go to near college or trade school. They ain't take out no loan for college. They ain't take out no loan for college or trade school. Let it play.
This is an Amish house. This is an Amish house. Y'all think it's a game. This is a 16-year-old buggy here. Well water.
Y'all see that? That's the well. This well right here also is one in the house that they use for plumbing. You see that? They are off the grid. 15,000 feet in the ground. 1,500 feet in the ground. 1,500 feet in the ground. You follow me? We can't do that. What we waiting for? What we waiting for? If I could get the roof, I didn't get the roof, but if I could get the roof, I think I got some pictures of it. They got solar panels on the roof. Their house is well lit. Solar panels on the roof.
I think he's about 6 weeks old, maybe 6.5. I'm not quite sure.
Get him over here, Taji. Get him over here. Taji, get him over there. Oh, God.
Aleem took off running. Aleem took off running. So I had to get tired. I gotta go be Taji. Come here. See, look. At the end of the day, he should learn to be independent, self-sufficient. What you want to be when you grow up?
An engineer.
He wants to be an engineer. We should have somebody in our community that can pass down that trade of being an engineer. But guess what? It's a possibility. Why you got your face like that? Smile, boy. There's a possibility that I got to pay him somebody. I got to pay one of these European institutions so he can be an engineer. That's not how it's supposed to work. Do you think the Amish people are paying somebody for their children to be an engineer? Huh?
No, actually, they have private schools. So.
They have one-room schoolhouses.
3x4. I meant 3x6's houses. Woo.
That's right. They got 3x6 beams in their house.
Beams in their
They
houses.
don't use 2x4s. You was paying attention.
I pay attention.
It's loud. Go ahead, boy. Go ahead. But this is the thing. This is the thing that I try to enrich in part with my son. You know what I'm saying? And my sons, because this stuff has got to stop. What do I look like teaching my son? What do I look like teaching my son that we can't do nothing? Or they just gonna burn it down, or they just gonna take it? What do I look like saying something like that? What do I look like telling him that he can't be an engineer? What do I look like? Come on, man. You can't do it. You can't do it. We sit up there and look at them European Amish children in one-room schoolhouses with the skills to build a whole community with a collective effort. Follow me? Look at Corey. So hold on. You saying you're going to fight for this land? I mean, because you're saying this land, you Billy Bay, it don't work like that. You don't understand politics, nor do you understand how things operate. Wherever you go, anywhere in the world, you will have opposition. Do you think, Corey, that you're going to go to Africa and you're going to ride off in the sunset? You are a foreigner in Africa. I don't know who fooled you. You are a foreigner. And not only are you a foreigner in most African countries, you are a vict. You are op in most African countries. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I deal with G Matthew said, if you took the blase, you're a slave already. I mean, that's right. So family, we're gonna I cannot say, look at the history of Liberia. You know what I'm saying? But whatever the case may be, I'm moving on this, family, and I hope you will be moving with me, family. I'm moving on this, and I hope you will be moving with me somewhere. If you can support, this is what I'm moving on. I'm not playing. I'm going to put out this documentary, and when I put out this documentary, and I'm going to compare how these leaders have sold us out, because they have not established anything, and we cannot complain if we're not ready to take it if we're not trying to take it. I mean, we can't complain that they ain't did nothing if we ain't gonna do nothing. We just can't continue to complain. The leaders ain't did nothing. They sold us out. Okay, well, here's the alternative. What y'all trying to do? And that don't mean everybody got to move there immediately, but we need to start somewhere. With that being said, family, I salute y'all. Peace and love. I'm glad that y'all joined me tonight. I went a little bit over, but I had to. I want to thank my guest Solarmind for coming on in and laying down the facts. Thank my art director, Brother Tahaka Bay, for putting this artwork together, The Two Snakes. I thought that was very genius of myself. Son, come give me a pat on the back real quick. Thank you. Hold on. Give me a pat. Give me one. That was a good one. That's a good one. Did you see the flyer? Mm-hmm. Why you?
Why? It's me.
But hey, listen. Listen. Anybody ever see the old videos when he was like this big? Anybody ever see them videos?
Bruh, go check those out if you didn't, because you'll see how tall I got.
Get off my video.
Okay, fine.
Anybody ever see them videos? He a class act. He been doing this for a minute. You know what I mean? Something together to move on. Yeah, we go get this right. Nagas say he remember. Listen, anybody that know me, they know I'm a family man, that I am a type of person. I'm hard to get along with sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I'm hard to get along with sometimes because I'm straightforward. I mean, I'm straightforward. I don't play no games. I'm all about truth. And if someone can prove me wrong, I mean, if someone can prove me wrong with the truth that I bring, that I'm going to adjust myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to adjust myself. I try to, thank you, phase 3. I try to adjust myself according to what's going to affect change, not only in the community, but even in my household. I'm a tough, I shoot a tough bargain. I'm trying to tell you. I'm something else. I don't do a whole bunch of arguing. I said beat to a thing, and it is. Peace and love, family. See y'all on the next go round. I'll be back. What's today? Tuesday? Man. Today Wednesday. Oh, I'll be back on Thursday. I'll be back on Thursday, family. I got a good presentation for y'all. We're gonna break down. Listen, I got a good presentation for you on Thursday. All right. I got a good presentation for you on Thursday. I hope I see you there. Let me see if my brother and anytime I'm installing. All right. Okay. I'm going to tell him we're going to do it. In the afternoon. So we're going to try to hit the throne in the afternoon. But I thank you, family. I appreciate you. Islam, shalom, peace, and love. You dig?
I be that more you gon' remember. Be more. I be that more you gon' remember. Nap town. I be that more you gon' remember. Tahaka Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. LA. I be that more you gon' remember. New York. I be that more you gon' remember. Tahaka Bay front line till the law call my number.